My descendants burn incense and worship me like a true immortal. Welcome back, brave explorers of impossible worlds. We are excited to have you here to continue this odyssey together. Before we continue, everything you'll hear is pure fiction, so please don't try to replicate combat techniques at home. This wonderful story in all its rights belong to its brilliant original author. We are only the messengers of entertainment. Want another dose of adventure? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a single chapter, and if you can't wait, our Patreon has exclusive surprises you'll love. Chapter 26 Demon Lord Tournament. A divine Lubu card was sold for 3 low-grade spirit stones and collected by a wealthy rogue cultivator. He became the first person to enter the game with a character card, dominating the table and envied by other rogue cultivators. So, on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th days, Yang Shi also sold Divine Zhang Liao, Divine Guan Yu, and Divine Cao for the same price. He got 12 spirit stones. He immediately acquired the moon mirror. Yang Genshuo, outside, was overjoyed, but also pinched his restless hand. Oh no, my hand. What's wrong with me? I can't help but give the Immortal Cultivation Family Simulator a bad review. Yang Genshuo truly hadn't expected Yang Shi to have this trick up his sleeve. Hiding divine cards and selling them for a high price. Where there's a will, there's a way. Yang Shi touched the small mirror. It shimmered with a faint light. A ring of pale purple pattern surrounded the mirror, only half of which was lit, the other half dim. This is the storage progress. Once it absorbs enough spiritual energy, all the patterns will light up, and you can unleash an attack. Xiaobei, can you try controlling this? Zheng Xiaobei took it in her hand and felt the abundant spiritual energy inside. With just a slight stimulation, it could shoot out at her will. Brother, I can. Good, my Yang family has gained another trump card. Keep this on your person for self-defense. Yang Shi had no spiritual energy and could not activate it, so Zheng Xiaobei had to control it. In the following days, Yang Genshuo continued to sell 1 divine card every day, maintaining a scarcity marketing strategy. Among them, the Divine's huge card was being sold for 5 low-grade spirit stones due to too much competition. All 12 divine general cards were sold, earning 38 low-grade spirit stones. After deducting the 12 used to buy the moon mirror, he still had 26. Yang Shi thought about using these spirit stones to buy something from the rogue cultivators on site, but before the trading time, most of the rogue cultivators were cautious and did not reveal their assets, each keeping their wealth secret. This won't do. I can't spend my spirit stones, we need to find a way to get them to bring out their good stuff. Seeing the current situation, Yang Genshuo had a bold idea brewing in his mind. If it succeeds, then, the balance of power will shift. As the opening of the market approached, more and more independent cultivators and martial artists settled in Qingxi County. The 12 decks of 3 Kingdoms Kill and the limited indoor space were no longer sufficient to meet the growing entertainment needs of the independent cultivators. At this time, the initially less popular werewolf game played a crucial role. To make it easier for everyone to understand, Yang Shi made some adjustments that were more relatable. Werewolves? Never heard of them? Replace them with demonic path people, making it much easier to understand. Gods? Never heard of them? Then replace them with righteous immortals. Villagers become immortal sect disciples. Seer divine strategist Taoist. Witch medicine sect elder. Hunter sword god. Guardian protector. Yang Shi even renamed the game, Demonic Path Kill. Righteous immortals and immortal sect disciples join forces to besiege the demonic path people. Now, these rogue cultivators, and even a few disciples from the Xuanxi sect, instantly understood. A huge stone table was set up on the street. Brought from the mountain by Baiheyu of the Xuanxi sect using his immortal magic. With a few sweeps of sword finger techniques, the stone transformed into a smooth, square shape. Baiheyu stopped pretending and laid his cards on the table. I am a disciple of the Xuanxi sect, a key refining cultivator. He was a hardcore demonic path killer player. Although he often made foolish moves like throwing teammates out to shield the demonic team, or chatting about off-field issues, he still enjoyed playing every day. In his words, nothing tempers the Dao heart better than this game. I feel like I'm gradually getting closer to the heart of a demonic path cultivator through countless lies. Moreover, as these people's skills improved, the demonic path killer became increasingly entertaining. Everyone gathered in 3 or 4 circles, watching the 12 people inside out, engaging in a battle of wits and courage, thoroughly enjoying themselves. Silence. Baiheyu cast a spell, completely sealing off the stone table and the 12 people present. They couldn't hear what was being said outside, but their voices could be heard clearly, much to the delight of the onlookers. Inside, the 12 engaged in a fierce debate, some with clear logic, others trying to muddy the waters, and still others slamming their fists on the table while speaking with Bai He pressed his face against it. Those outside found it fascinating, offering their commentary and thoroughly enjoying themselves. After receiving a message from the ancestor, Yang Shi called out, "Nowadays, so many people enjoy the demonic path of killing, and everyone possesses unique skills. Why not hold a competition to let everyone prove their strength?" All eyes turned to Yang Shi. Faced with the encirclement of immortals and disciples, demonic cultivators often need greater courage and meticulous logic to ensure their victory. Therefore, I name this competition, the Demon Lord Championship. Gentlemen, who is the strongest demon lord? Upon hearing Yang Shi's words, Bai He applauded enthusiastically. Excellent. 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 Brother Yang Shi's idea is brilliant. Since it's a competition, I'll add some extras to this demon lord's tournament. His sword ring flashed, and a turquoise longsword appeared in his hand. Watery spiritual energy permeated the blade, and with a slight swing, it created dreamlike, illusory sword shadows. This sword is called Flowing Water. When wielded, it creates water mist illusions that can confuse opponents. It's a mid-grade magic weapon used by me during the nascent soul stage. The winner will receive this sword. Wow! The crowd of rogue cultivators gasped in astonishment. As expected of a key refining disciple of the Yang sect, such a fine treasure right off the bat, this mid-grade magic weapon sword, let alone the nascent soul stage, I could use it without any problem even up to the key refining stage. He just gave away such a treasure like this. He's incredibly generous. Senior Bai so generous. Bai He floated on the air amidst the exclamations of praise. He gestured with his hand. We cultivators seek a clear Dao heart. This game is destined for me, so naturally I'll sponsor it. Also, fellow Daoists, if you want to beat my flowing water sword, you'd better work hard, because I'm determined to get the title of Demon Lord. Yang Shi didn't expect Bai He to be so enthusiastic, pulling out such a good item. He couldn't resist joining the game himself. The tablet Yang Genshuo gave him contained a large number of high-level werewolf game videos, which he watched in his spare time. His understanding of this board game far surpassed that of these cultivators who had only been playing for half a month. But his own participation would be somewhat unseemly. He'd teach Zhang Xiaobei later and have her join the game. At this moment, Yang Shi seized the opportunity and said, "This Demon Lord tournament will continue until the day before the market opens. The winner will be determined by the number of points earned each day, with the highest scorer receiving the title of Demon Lord. Furthermore, my Yang's board game tea house will give away a set of 3 kingdoms kill cards to each of the top 3 winners." Woohoo! The crowd erupted in even louder cheers. Giving away a box of 3 kingdoms kill cards worth 10 low-grade spirit stones so readily demonstrated Yang Shi's magnanimity. Even though he was just immortal, at this moment, bringing joy to so many cultivators made him a fellow Taoist in everyone's hearts, not an ant. After the competition was set, the cultivators began studying demonic path kill strategies, and various unique terms circulated in the streets. 3 days later, a group of mysterious masked cultivators quietly entered Qingxi County. Our mission this time is to disrupt the establishment of the new market for rogue cultivators and recruit rogue cultivators who are inclined towards the demonic path into our Blood Soul Valley. Currently, our demonic cultivation is weak, and if we are exposed, we will easily attract the pursuit of the Yang Shi sect disciples. Therefore, this operation must be carried out secretly. Initially, we should focus on making contact and avoid letting anyone discover that we are members of the demonic path. As they spoke, they saw the promotional slogans Yang Shi had written all over the street. The Demon Lord tournament is in full swing. If you're demonic enough, come and join us. It's Monday. The new book rankings have been refreshed. Please help by casting a monthly ticket, giving a 100-point reward, or writing a comment. All of these will help improve the book's ranking. Thank you everyone. Chapter 27. If you want to cook well, practice more. Demon Lord's Tournament. The 3 Blood Soul Valley demon cultivators stared at the conspicuous banner, stunned. Is this something we can discuss openly? What kind of demonic sect is so blatant? Has our demonic sect's survival improved now? Just as the 3 were puzzled, 2 rogue cultivators walked by, excitedly discussing something. Let me tell you, being a demonic cultivator requires courage. Always sneaking around and hiding won't work. You should actively steal the title of that divine strategist Taoist, gain his trust, and then you can cover for your fellow demonic cultivators as they slaughter members of the immortal sects at night. The three demonic cultivators exclaimed, "Good heavens! They're actually discussing how to slaughter members of the immortal sects in broad daylight. This is too demonic. They're definitely like-minded." Ding Zhen, the leader of the three demonic cultivators in Blood Soul Valley, leaned closer and whispered, "Aren't you afraid of being discovered by the immortal sects for impersonating the divine strategist? Once exposed, you'll face certain death." The rogue cultivator laughed. "With a divine strategist present, if he confirms his identity, wouldn't we demonic cultivators become fish on a chopping board? He can kill anyone he divines. How can he possibly eliminate the immortal sects? And if I say I am the divine strategist and divine that one person is a demon, the other immortal sects don't understand divination, how would they know I'm wrong?" Ding Zhen was greatly shocked after hearing this. There was actually such a bold and meticulous demonic cultivator. "But I still have a question. What if you pretend to be the divine strategist, and the person you divine is actually a disciple of the immortal sect? If he vehemently refutes you and provides proof, wouldn't your identity be completely exposed? How if the divine strategist divines out a real demonic spy? Wouldn't a demonic sect prove itself in the same way?" "I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I need to do a few more rounds of divination with you to prepare for tonight's Demon Lord competition." The two rogue cultivators left, still discussing various demonic tactics. Ding Zhen's worldview was greatly refreshed. To be able to see through people's hearts so clearly, no wonder he's a senior who can participate in the Demon Lord competition. His strength is terrifying. The two subordinates stammered, "But, boss, I think his cultivation level is not even at the key refining stage. How can he compete for Demon Lord?" The three of them all at least the first level of key refining cultivation. Ding Zhen smiled mysteriously. This person is incredibly audacious, even daring to impersonate the heavenly strategist. "How can you prove that the level he shows is real?" hissed the two subordinates gasped. The three walked the streets of Qingxi County, where almost every cultivator they encountered was discussing the Demon Lord's tournament, with various demonic methods emerging one after another. The ruthless and cunning type, disguising themselves as disciples of immortal sects, they steadfastly followed the immortal sect members, willing to trample on their demonic allies if necessary, until they gained everyone's trust. The self-inflicted injury type, they would commit suicide in front of everyone, then gamble on the medicine sect elders to save their lives, thus successfully clearing themselves of suspicion as demonic cultivators, infiltrating the immortal sects, and then secretly killing them one by one. One group's tactics even chilled Ding Zhen, a demonic cultivator himself, the self-destruction method. Once the demonic leader identified all the righteous immortals, he would order his subordinates to self-destruct one by one, buying himself time to strike. Once all three demonic teammates had successfully self-destructed, he could slaughter all the immortals. "Boss, this is the true demonic path. We go through all that trouble setting up formations. Absorbing the life essence of mortals is like child's play." Hearing the thoughts of the seniors in the Demon Lord tournament, I realize how much we can achieve. It's truly exhilarating. I have no regrets about entering the demonic path. Ding Zhen nodded in agreement. "In that case, we don't need to hide our demonic identities anymore. Let's participate in the Demon Lord tournament. Even just to witness the prowess of our seniors would be excellent." The three followed the signs Yang Shi had posted on the street and arrived at Yang's board game tea house. "Is this the demonic path headquarters in Qingxi County?" Yang Shi looked at the three masked rogue cultivators and chuckled. These three are quite into their roles. "You're here to register for the Demon Lord's tournament, right?" "Yes, the three of us are from Blood Soul Valley. We've come to learn from the skills of you demonic masters." "Alright, we've registered you. Here are your scorecards. After each match, take your scorecards to the hall to record your scores." After recording their names, Yang Shi pointed to the masks on their faces. "You need to take these off. You can't wear them." "Why?" "I use them to conceal my presence. They're essential for demonic cultivation." "No need. You'll wear the masks made by Senior Brother Bai when you go on stage. Those can block your senses, preventing you from detecting others' actions." "Block your own senses?" "Yes, otherwise, what if you're spying on others' nighttime actions?" But, seeing his two subordinates still wanting to ask more questions, Ding Zhen shook his head and pulled them away. This tests our ability to quickly complete tasks when information is insufficient. It's part of the Demon Lord's test. After observing several rounds of the demonic kill game, Ding Zhen and his two companions had almost memorized the rules. So it's a deduction game simulating how we demonic cultivators secretly kill each other. I get it. The three entered the game, coincidentally all being demonic cultivators. After a few rounds, their overly straightforwardness and frequent pronouncements about killing entire families led to them being immediately exposed and the game ending quickly. I never thought being a demonic cultivator was so difficult. How did that damned immortal sect disciple see through me? Did he secretly observe our nighttime activities using a magical artifact? No, boss. That immortal sect disciple caught all three of us in the first round. There's definitely something fishy going on. I'm going to kill his whole family. The three were already at the red zone. Bai Heu, the center of this round, chuckled, waving his feather fan. A spiritual light flickered on it, and water vapor condensed into four large characters. Weak? Practice more. Seeing two of his subordinates about to draw their blood cry sword and soul refining banner, Ding Zhen quickly stopped them. You're not as skilled. Don't be impulsive. Not only had they never played demonic killing before, but they were also no match for this man pretending to be a righteous cultivator. Bai Heu, who had always been a novice, never expected to perform so well this time. He blindly targeted three demons in the first round, and he couldn't explain why. It seemed like he was guided by his spiritual sense. Could it be? I really am a genius. In the days that followed, the three demonic cultivators were trained by various rogue cultivators in turn. Even immortals would be easily fooled by the more cunning demonic cultivators. However, some kind-hearted rogue cultivators couldn't bear to see the three being tricked like fools, so they taught them some tactics, earning the three's gratitude and promise not to kill his entire family again. The Demon Lord tournament was in full swing, and more rogue cultivators entered Qingxi County. Before the market opened, more than 300 rogue cultivators had already gathered. The other three disciples of the Yang Shi sect removed their disguises and came out to maintain order, preventing large-scale battles in the mortal city. Ding Zhen's group of three, who were always ready to kill entire families, received a special warning. At this time, the three who were engrossed in killing with demonic cultivation gradually realized that something was wrong. Wait, what did they just say they were disciples from? If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28 Zhang Xianobei, whose training lasted 2.5 years. Boss, there are 4 disciples from the Yang Shi sect, all at the key refining stage. I feel like we're doomed. Don't panic. The enemy is in the open while we're in the shadows. They might not even know we're from the Blood Soul Valley. Every time I lose, I threaten them, saying that the Blood Soul Valley will wipe out their whole family sooner or later. Ding Zhen, the 3 demonic cultivators, who had been having a blast for 10 days, were now on tenterhooks. What a load of bull. Is this some kind of trap set up to catch the 3 of us? I'm really fed up. Those 3 people from the Yang Shi sect who are hiding here, every time they get their demonic identities, they become incredibly cunning. They don't even blush when they lie, yet they claim to be disciples of a prestigious sect. How about, we find a chance to sneak our way? Ding Zhen raised a finger and shook it. No, the Yang Shi sect disciples are watching. If we don't participate and suddenly run away, it will attract attention. Right now, they might not even think we're true demons. Besides, the market opening date is approaching. These people are our targets. We haven't finished recruiting talent for Blood Soul Valley yet. After we recruit the people we need, we'll just plant a blood-exploding minefield at the market opening location and destroy it. After hearing their leader's words, the 2 subordinates stared at each other wide-eyed. Who should we recruit? Ding Zhen, recruit rogue cultivators who are inclined towards the demonic path. Boss, among all the rogue cultivators in this city, who isn't more like the demonic path than us? Except for Bai Heu. The other 3 Yang Shi sect disciples are all more cunning than us. Their tricks are incredibly dirty. The 3 of us are as honest as righteous disciples. Ding Zhen, good news, they are all seeds of the demonic path. Bad news, I've become a righteous person. The 3 of them fell into serious self-doubt. Meanwhile, the entire plan was proceeding smoothly, just as Yang Genshuo had set out. Because he could look through the character cards, Yang Genshuo had already discovered the 3 members of the Blood Soul Valley demonic sect. He instructed Yang Shi not to get too close to the 3 of them and took precautions in advance. Yang Shi put black tea and high-quality white sugar in a pot, heated it over low heat, and stirred it until the caramel was bubbling. He then poured in fresh milk and brought it to boil. She took out 3 more strawberries and crushed them in a tall glass. She then placed a strainer over the rim of the glass, poured in the freshly made caramel milk tea, and skimmed off the tea leaves. "Fairy, strawberry milk tea, please enjoy." Muranzian nodded slightly, saying nothing more. After Yang Shi left, her delicate nose twitched slightly as she smelled the unique aroma of the milk tea. Her face instantly lit up like springtime, like a child who had found a treat. She took a sip, the fragrance lingering on her lips and teeth, even her eyebrows curving with delight. After finishing the entire cup of milk tea without stopping, Muranzian was still not satisfied. She stuck out her pink tongue and licked a few drops of white liquid from the corner of her mouth, revealing a sweet smile. But this sweet smile only lasted a moment before she reverted to her aloof senior sister demeanor. This mortal does have some skill. This freshly made milk tea naturally tasted much better than powdered milk tea. Yang Genshuo had learned it from Daoan and taught it to Yang Shi. Although Muranzian had set up an array to prevent spying, it couldn't stop Yang Genshuo. Within 100 meters of Yang Shi, he could see every detail from every angle. If Muranzian hadn't been dressed so tightly. Although he didn't get a full view, Yang Genshuo naturally discerned Muranzian's preferences. Just like the pitiful old beggar at the door every day, Yang Shi could simply feed him daily. Even if he didn't need it, he could still build a good relationship. Yang Shi, tomorrow is the Demon Lord's Tournament Finals. Tonight, have Brother Ni bring over what he's forged. Tomorrow, we'll decide the outcome. Yes, Ancestor, Yang Shi will not let you down. This matter will succeed. After spending so many days with the rogue cultivators, Yang Shi's reputation had steadily increased, and he already had considerable influence. His expertise in the card games, Three Kingdoms Kill and Werewolf made him the highest authority in both. He was adept at resolving disputes, never fearing the strong nor favoring the weak, always acting fairly, a fact observed by all the independent cultivators. Many remarked that Yang Shi was a promising cultivator, but unfortunately lacked spiritual roots. As night fell, some mortals in Qingxi County were moving about the streets, carrying out a major transformation. The independent cultivators had little interest in the affairs of mortals, and almost no one cared what they were doing. The next day, Yang Shi stood on the stone table. "I declare that today, the final of the Demon Lord's Tournament of the Demon Path of Killing officially begins. The 12 people with the highest scores from these days' battles will compete for the title of Demon Lord. Please take your seats." The 12 strongest individuals took their seats, including Bai Heo and Ding Zhen. Bai Heo had secured a spot on the top 12 through sheer shamelessness. Others, seeing him busy setting up the stone table, making masks, and casting silencing spells for each round, gave him some points. Ding Zhen, however, entered based on his true strength. His voice was magnetic, possessing a strange, demonic aura, and his announcements were full of atmosphere, leading Bai Heo to handpick him as the final host. Ding Zhen had no chance of making it to the finals. The 3 of them, who were known for their ruthless killing sprees, didn't even have enough points to reach the top 12. This greatly distressed Ding Zhen. His original plan was to ambush an explosive formation at the Whitewater River Market today, causing massive destruction tomorrow. Instead, he was dragged into hosting for the day, and he dared not refuse. As for his 2 subordinates, Ding Zhen feared they would blow him up while setting up the formation and send him to the soul-refining banner. After a tense and exciting day of competition, Zhuang Shi sect disciple Bai Heo lived up to expectations, achieving a place in the top 12. He remained energetic and volunteered to present the awards at the finals. "I announce. The champion of the first Demon Lord tournament is Yang Xiaobei. Congratulations. Little sister, this flowing water sword is yours, a mid-grade magic weapon, the flowing water sword." The sword's brilliance was veiled in mist, its essence hidden in the ethereal air. Yang Xiaobei, after receiving her prize, excitedly waved it at Yang Shi below the stage. "Brother, I did it." Everyone saw her as a young woman, but forgot her true identity, the owner of Yang's board game tea house, Yang Shi's personally trained disciple, and a master of the demonic path of killing for 2.5 years. Her demonic path of killing skills far surpassed those of these rogue cultivators. Winning the championship was well deserved. There was no cheating in the board game, her victory through skill was convincing and exhilarating. After the cheers and excitement, many rogue cultivators couldn't help but sigh in disappointment. From the demonic path of slaughter, I've learned a lesson. No matter how eloquently others speak, Their actions speak louder than words. From today onward, I will only observe actions, not listen to empty promises. I've cultivated for 30 years, and this is the first time I've truly relaxed and enjoyed life. These past 2 weeks have seen more collaborations with others than in half a lifetime. Fellow Daoists, you are all so knowledgeable. I've learned so much. Unfortunately, all of this is like a bubble, easily burst. Tomorrow, you will all meet at the market. I only hope that after we exchange our cultivation supplies, you will all be lenient and refrain from fighting. The path of immortality is cruel. These beautiful days are, for you and me, an illusion. But once we leave this illusion, we'll likely have to settle things with our own strength. At this moment, everyone remembered that they had come here for the cultivation supplies. How could there be any safety in market transactions? Within the market, maintained by the market lord, everyone could maintain a respectable appearance. But outside the market, into the woods, anyone could turn to the dark side, committing murder and robbery. Just as everyone was pondering this, Yang Shi jumped onto the stone table. Esteemed seniors, may I offer my opinion on the matters of market transactions? Chapter 29, Qingxi Fang Market, begins. Esteemed seniors, regarding this market transaction, may I have a word to say? Yang Shi puffed out his chest, speaking with the full force of his 6th-level body-tempering realm cultivation, his voice echoing throughout the street. Seeing Yang Shi speak, the Yuan Shi sect disciples and rogue cultivators present all gave him face and fell silent. Yang Shi cupped his hands in greeting. I have something to say, please listen and see if it is correct. When you come to this market to trade, after exchanging for spirit stones or desired magical artifacts, are you willing to let other cultivators with higher cultivation levels snatch them away? The crowd immediately became agitated. Of course not, such a cunning and wicked person, I will never let him live under the same sky, everyone should kill him. Yang Shi nodded and continued, if you see a cultivator weaker than you possessing treasures that could be easily taken, would you be willing to keep them for yourself? This time, most of the rogue cultivators fell silent. A small group of rogue cultivators shouted, I won't rob, I'm a good person, I never bully others. Robbing others' treasures is what demonic cultivators do. Upon closer inspection, they were all low-level rogue cultivators, roughly at the 3rd level of the nascent soul stage, similar to Zhang Xiaobei's level. The others didn't directly answer the question for the time being. Seeing this, Yang Shi shrugged, so, it seems everyone doesn't want to be robbed by powerful cultivators, but dares not promise not to rob weaker ones. Why is that? The rogue cultivators stammered, unsure how to refute. Bai Hei's 3 junior brothers and sisters also didn't quite understand. It's just a few spirit stones and magic tools, what's the big deal? The sect distributes them every month. Senior sister said they're poor cultivators, then why don't they ask themselves why they haven't saved up spirit stones after so many years of cultivation? Have they been diligently cultivating their spirit fields? They could sell any unused spirit beasts they catch to other cultivators. Sigh. Bai Heiyu sighed. He had spent the most time with the rogue cultivators these past few days and had learned a lot about the real situation of the lower-level cultivators. If there were so many cultivation resources to distribute, there wouldn't be a demonic path. Demonic cultivator Ding Zhen scoffed at this question. HMPH. Everyone for themselves. Cultivation is about fighting against heaven and against others. If I don't rob, other cultivators will rob me. I might as well just take it for myself and use it to help me achieve immortality. In my eyes, I respect seniors, keep my distance from fellow cultivators, and take from ants. If you're not as skilled as others, you have to accept being robbed. I'll sum it up with a phrase I just learned. If you're bad, practice more. His words resonated with many cultivators. Yang Shi, having anticipated this, smiled at Ding Zhen and said, Senior, you must be a key refining stage immortal, right? That's just what ordinary people say. How dare a mere key refining cultivator call themselves an immortal? Boss Yang's family has already entered the cultivation world, just call him a cultivator. The other rogue cultivators nodded in agreement. In their eyes, Yang Shi was an equal, no one looked down on him. Someone who could invent so many novel ways to play must have a powerful backer. That senior sister of the Yuan Shi sect, with her extremely high cultivation, looked down on rogue key refining cultivators. So why did she personally oversee the tea house every day? It couldn't be just for a sip of that mundane drink, could it? Clearly, she treated Yang Shi differently. Yang Shi cupped his hands in greeting. Senior is a key refining stage cultivator, with profound cultivation, capable of robbing other cultivators of their treasures. But are you sure you're the strongest? Perhaps this inconspicuous beggar on the ground is a key refining stage cultivator, even more advanced than you. Old beggar Kiao, who was sipping his coffee, rolled his eyes at Yang Shi. You're quite the charmer, kid. If you weren't just immortal, I'd think you'd seen right through me. Ding Zhen frowned. He believed that apart from Bai Hu, no one present was his match, but was that really true? His Blood Soul Valley wasn't skilled in reconnaissance. Yang Shi continued, even you, senior, can't be sure if there are cultivators of a higher level than you present. How can you be so sure you're not just an ant in someone else's eyes, even if your cultivation level is overwhelming? What if other cultivators team up to fight you? Ding Zhen's frown deepened. Although he was at the 7th level of key refining, having several more key refining cultivators entangle him meant he might not gain the upper hand in a fight. No one knew if the other side possessed any strange magical artifacts. Besides Ding Zhen, everyone else was also pondering Yang Shi's words. It seemed no one could be certain they were invincible. Had the brothers they'd been drinking with yesterday secretly teamed up with someone else? An old rogue cultivator, having experienced many such situations, sighed. Boss Yang is right, but this has always been the way things are in the market for rogue cultivators. We can only proceed with caution and try to escape as soon as possible. If we get robbed, then it's our fate. Everyone nodded in agreement. This was the wisdom of experience. Yang Genshuo, who had been watching the situation closely from the outside, clenched his fist. Manifestation. Just because it's always been this way, does that mean it's right? Yang Shi shouted. Just because it's always been this way, does that mean it's right? The rogue cultivators were shocked and all looked at Yang Shi standing on the stone table. Fighting and plundering is a trap from which no one can escape. In the end, no one can profit. If everyone could exchange their useless things for their useful things, then everyone would benefit. Friendly mutual benefit is the only way to benefit all the rogue cultivators of our great Nai dynasty. I have a dream. To let the market return to its purest original purpose. Yang Shi read each word that Yang Genshuo had manifested, his blood boiling with excitement. All the rogue cultivators seemed to see a spiritual giant in Yang Shi, one who had surpassed them in enlightenment. After their initial shock, the rogue cultivators realized what was going on. Boss Yang makes sense, but who can guarantee everyone will do the same once we go to the Beishu market? Yang Shi pointed to the wooden stalls lining the streets of Qingxi County. Who says rogue cultivators have to go to Beishu for their markets? Markets exist because of people. We've all gathered in Qingxi County. Why not trade and exchange goods locally? Trade what you want. With a foundation establishment senior from the Xuanqi sect overseeing things, what do you have to fear? The window on the 3rd floor of Yang's board game tea house opened, and the icy cold Murin Ziyan raised her hand. A silver talisman flashed through the air and landed in Yang Shi's hand. It bore 4 large characters, Xuanqi Walker. The rogue cultivators were astonished. The Xuanqi Walker was a token representing the Xuanqi sect and local governance. With this talisman, one could command the governor of a prefecture. Could it be that these Xuanqi sect disciples had been here all this time, specifically to support Yang Shi? Did the Xuanqi sect intend to take over the rogue cultivator market? After some deliberation, everyone surprisingly found that the well-regulated and secure market Yang Shi had mentioned wasn't bad at all. Since they were reopening the market, Qingxi County, backed by the Xuanqi sect, was indeed a good place. Seeing that many of the rogue cultivators were already nodding in agreement, Yang Shi pressed his advantage, saying, "Today, my Yang family will be holding the first Qingxi market for everyone in Qingxi County. Our motto is standardization, transparency, and supervision. We respectfully request all seniors to supervise us. Today, the market officially opens. Please go to the stalls I have prepared for you and sell your goods." After only a moment's thought, all the rogue cultivators dispersed to find the best stalls. The Qingxi market, spearheaded by the Yang family, was successfully established. Nice. It's done. Yang Genshuo's entire plan was executed perfectly. He brought this rogue cultivator market to Qingxi County and reached a non-aggression pact with the rogue cultivators. From organizing the competition to gather popularity and increase prestige, to delivering the final speech in one go, Yang Shi's execution once again impressed him. "We two are really strong," he grinned and laughed heartily. Yang Shi gratefully walked to the 3rd floor, gently knocked on the door, and bowed to Murin Ziyan inside. "Thank you for your kindness, senior," Murin Ziyan replied coldly. "I bestow upon you the title of Xuanqi Walker." Do not tarnish the reputation of my Yang Shi sect. Manage this Yang Shi market well, and do not allow it to be infiltrated by the demonic path again. If you encounter trouble, you can activate this talisman, and the Yang Shi sect disciples in the surrounding area will naturally come to your aid. Yang Shi bowed. Disciple understands. At the same time, 30 miles west of Qingxi County, at Bai Shui River. Looking at the dozen or so stalls scattered around, the organizers of the independent cultivators were puzzled. Wait, where are they? In the green bamboo forest, at the Jie family. The patriarch Jie Ziyanging led over a fierce wolf and handed it to Jie Tan, who had just advanced to the key refining stage. This is an iron spine gray wolf, at the first level of key refining. Its body is as hard as steel, impervious to swords and blades, possessing immense strength, and can carry people at great speed. At full speed, it's as fast as lightning. It will be your aid on this journey. Jie Tan mounted the iron spine gray wolf, his entire demeanor becoming fierce. He waved to Jie Ziyanging, who was seeing him off. With a spirit beast, I can reach Qingxi County in 3 days. How, a mere innate grandmaster, to expect me to join forces with a gray wolf? You certainly think too highly of him. I will definitely find the recipe for the bigu cake for my family. To celebrate the change of book title, an extra chapter will be added. 2 more chapters to come. Chapter 30, Marrow Cleansing Pill, and the Spring Wood Longevity Technique. The 5-member group from the Yang Shi sect temporarily stayed in Qingxi County, intimidating all the rogue cultivators and deterring them from any improper thoughts. This led to an unprecedented boom in legitimate trade in the market. Uniform stalls, clear pricing, and a safe environment ensured that all transactions were conducted in a standardized manner. Yang Shi took the opportunity to sell off the spirit rice he couldn't finish this year. He sold it at the market price of 1 spirit stone for 10 jin, earning a total of 15 low-grade spirit stones. Adding this to the 23 low-grade spirit stones he had left over from selling the Divine General card, Yang Shi now had a huge sum of 73 low-grade spirit stones. In the ancestral hall in the backyard of the tea house, Yang Shi rummaged through the pile of spirit stones and pulled out 12 low-grade spirit stones, pushing them in front of Zhang Xiaobei. These 12 are for your cultivation. Zhang Xiaobei quickly shook her head. I don't want them, brother. Go buy some pills to help you strengthen your body. I'll just slowly absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth myself. If you want them, then take them. I asked senior brother Bai, and he said that at your stage, refining the pure spiritual energy of 1 low-grade spirit stone per month will make your cultivation twice as fast as just absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. Your improvement in strength is very important to our family. Our family? Zhang Xiaobei blushed, then said hesitantly, brother, in 3 more months, I'll be 18. Oh, the remaining 61 spirit stones are what we can use. We'll exchange them for a suitable wood-type cultivation technique for you, and buy some other family property. HMPH. I don't want them. You buy them for yourself. Xiaobei pouted and turned her head away, not knowing why she was angry. Let's wait for the ancestor first. His spiritual sense can see the goods in this market, and he will definitely choose the most suitable items for us. Indeed, Yang Genshuo could see the spiritual power on the items, so he could naturally choose good things. He kept browsing through the items of the rogue cultivators, but it had to be said that this was, after all, the lowest level of the trading market, mostly populated by rogue cultivators in the nascent soul stage and innate grandmaster martial artists. There were only a very small number of key refining cultivators. Their goods were mostly common, and their value was generally agreed upon, so there was basically no room for overpricing or underpricing, and no room for finding bargains. Yang Genshuo patiently looked through the items at each stall, and found 2 things suitable for Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei. Marrow cleansing pill. Yang Shi walked to a stall in the market, picked up a small jade bottle, and found a black pill inside. The spiritual energy emanating from the pill was condensed and did not dissipate in the jade bottle, making it look quite precious. Mr. Yang has a good eye. This marrow cleansing pill is a genuine grade 1 pill. After taking it, it can cleanse impurities in the body, optimize blood vessels, enhance cultivation aptitude, and improve cultivation level. It is one of the essential pills for all cultivators. Would you like one? With the ancestors' approval, Yang Shi wasn't worried about being cheated even if he didn't recognize the marrow cleansing pill. Looking at it now, he felt a bitter taste in his mouth. This tiny pill costs me 20 low-grade spirit stones, the shopkeeper replied, not to mention enhancing physique and cultivation, just enhancing aptitude alone is enough. 20 low-grade spirit stones is really not expensive. A person can only take the marrow cleansing pill once, any more than that and it's useless. Most importantly, its effect on martial arts cultivators is extremely high. After some haggling, they settled on 18 low-grade spirit stones. Only 43 low-grade spirit stones left. When Yang Shi arrived at another stall indicated by the ancestor, he saw a cultivation technique, jade slip, spring wood longevity technique, a wood-type key cultivation technique that can be cultivated to the peak of key refining. Its unique feature is the ability to absorb the essence of plants to stimulate one's potential and extend lifespan. It comes with 3 spells: the growth of all things, spring wood rejuvenation, and wood spirit possession. This is great, perfect for beginners. Yang Shi glanced at the price, 50 spirit stones, and his vision blurred. Why dare you sell a technique that can only be cultivated up to the key refining stage for 50 low-grade spirit stones, because of longevity? Who among us cultivators doesn't want to live longer? Each extra year of lifespan means one more chance to advance to the foundation establishment stage. So, is this a key refining technique? No. This is a shortcut to the foundation establishment stage. Looking at the stall owner's confident argument, Yang Shi felt a headache coming on. Unconvinced, he went to look for other techniques at various stalls and found that techniques from the fetal breathing stage to the key refining stage were all around 40 low-grade spirit stones, and none of them were suitable for beginners. After some haggling, Yang Shi managed to bargain down to 40 spirit stones. After looking around, only 3 spirit stones remained. The Yang family had almost spent all their harvest and spirit stones from selling cards this year. Alright, I still have 3 spirit fruits, rock fruits. Yang Shi saw someone selling them outside. They were a good fire-type material, good for making spiritual food or refining pills. They could sell for 5 low-grade spirit stones each, but Yang Genshuo stopped him. Continue feeding little flame, it can grow into a guardian spirit beast. Since these things wouldn't fetch much, it was better to continue strengthening the Yang family's power. The market was open for 3 days. Amidst laughter and chatter, the rogue cultivators were about to close their trades that evening. Ding Zhen took out a set of blood explosion mine array from his storage ring, pondered for a long time, and then put it away. Boss, we're back, how's it? Still haven't found any rogue cultivators who want to join our demonic path. In these last 3 days, they finally remembered their business, but no rogue cultivators had any intention of joining the demonic path. They were quite comfortable here. Without hatred, jealousy, and anger, who should we absorb? Ding Zhen couldn't help but recall the day he was a child. His father took him to the annual market for rogue cultivators, bought him a marrow cleansing pill, saying he had excellent aptitude and that feeding it to him would help him become an immortal. However, they were killed on the way by 2 greedy cultivators. His master from Blood Soul Valley appeared, took him back to Blood Soul Valley, and made him cultivate the demonic path with hatred as his faith, then go and kill his enemies. Over the years, he had carried hatred with him, but he had never found those 2 cultivators. However, he had followed his master's example, absorbing many like-minded people into Blood Soul Valley. But the greenstone market established by Yang Shi a few days ago lacked that feeling. He felt disappointed yet also a little relieved. We might not see any of them appear this year. Let's go back to the sect. The person we're looking for isn't here. 2 subordinates hesitated and said, aren't we going to set off the blood explosion mine array? Ding Zhen raised an eyebrow. Who's going to set it off? Who's going to get blown up? Why don't you go to Yang's board game tea house and bury it there? After we leave? Boom. They'll all be dead. The subordinates quickly shook their heads. No, we demonic cultivators are also demonic. We always repay kindness with kindness and revenge with revenge. Boss Yang treated me to tea and even explained tactics to me. These days I feel like my brain is starting to grow again. I can't do that. Me too. Ding Zhen shrugged. Then what are you waiting for? Let's go. Are you waiting to be discovered by the Xuanxi sect? Looking at these rogue cultivators who had been arguing with him and were now being killed by the demonic cultivators, Ding Zhen really couldn't bring himself to kill them this time. Clap clap clap. Wonderful, wonderful. Blood Soul Valley's executioner Ding Zhen even has a day when he doesn't kill. The door opened, and Bai Hao and his 3 junior brothers and sisters were standing at the door clapping. As Ding Zhen tried to run, a powerful aura locked onto him, as if the slightest movement would result in his decapitation. Foundation establishment, Muran Zion floated in from outside the window. Considering you realized your mistake at the last moment and stopped in time, I will spare your lives. Tomorrow, you will come with me to the Yang Shi sect, late at night. Jetan silently crept into the treasure pavilion. Roar a low growl startled Liao Xiao awake from his sleep. Opening his eyes, he saw a huge wolf head staring at him with blood-red eyes. Ah, Jetan sneered, speak, who killed my Jie family's retainer? Chapter 31 Hybrid Spirit Rice and Spirit Wheat Fasting Cake. Late at night, Yang Shi was studying the jade slip of the spring wood longevity technique with Zhang Xiaobei. How do you make this thing? You have to use spiritual energy to detect the technique. I can't see anything when I hold it, Zhang Xiaobei smiled and said, this technique jade slip is not only text, but also contains the trajectory of spiritual energy flow. Without spiritual energy, it cannot be perceived. Just looking at the text is like looking at a few pieces of waste paper. Oh, that's really different from us martial arts practitioners. The mind clarity technique he learned was just a book. He could gradually master it by referring to it and practicing his breathing. Knock knock knock, there was a rapid knocking at the door. Who? Yang Shi was startled and pointed to Zhang Xiaobei's chest. She immediately grabbed the moon mirror. At the same time, Yang Shi looked up. There was no instruction from the ancestor, so he felt a little relieved. Grabbing the flowing water sword, Yang Shi carefully opened the door. Woof woof woof. Howl! A person bound hand and foot and a wolf bound hand and foot were huddled at the door, howling. Brother, look, there are words on the floor. The old beggar saved you from disaster, kid. I've taken all the coffee from the shop. Yang Shi immediately understood what was going on and bowed towards the distance. Thank you for saving us, senior. Jetan and Iron Spine Wolf had their spiritual power sealed by the old beggar, and now they were just ordinary people. Yang Shi could easily deal with them. Tiger. Get the whip. From the next room, Tiger ran out excitedly with a whip. Brother Shi, which black guy should I whip? I won't whip the black guys today. Whip these two on the ground. Let's see if they're still stubborn. Crack. Ah. Tiger's starting move showed his professionalism, directly hitting Jetan so hard that a bloody mark appeared on his face. Will you talk or not? Crack. Ah. Why will you talk or not? Crack. Ah. Why? Crack 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 crack. After delivering a full 100 lashes with a lightning whip, Tiger couldn't help but remark, he's a tough guy, still won't talk even after being whipped like this. Ugh. Jetan, covered in blood on the ground, writhed desperately upon hearing this, his resentment overflowing. Zhang Xiaobei weakly said, Brother Tiger, it seems his mouth has been sealed shut the whole time. Jetan, pulling the old beggar's sock out of his mouth, Jetan shouted with a contorted face, talk, talk, talk. What should I say? Just ask me. Just let me open my mouth. Damn it, crack, another lash struck Jetan's mouth. Tiger, shut up. With Tiger's 100 lashes as a foundation, Jetan, this delicate young master who ate spiritual food and cultivated immortality at home, confessed everything, even wanting to lead the group to the green bamboo forest, offering to be the guide. At this moment, Yang Genshuo also understood. So they wanted the compressed biscuit recipe for the spirit food recipe. To make a low-grade version of the bigu pill, 1 bigu pill can sell for 2 low-grade spirit stones? Even the low-grade one can sell for 1. Yang Genshuo was shocked. If that's the case, then he could make it. He just needed to replace the wheat flour used to make the compressed biscuits with spirit wheat flour. Great, I'll make it here and send it in. Would the Yang family be printing spirit stones like they were running a money printing machine? The rest was left to Yang Shi to handle. After frantically working for a long time, Yang Genshuo could finally relax for a while. Time accelerated, 3 years and 305 days. The rogue cultivators in Qingxi market had all left. Murin Ziyan led her disciples and 3 demonic cultivators away. Before leaving, Yang Shi gave her a box of chocolates and a bag of candy, saying that there would be new products next year. Murin Ziyan accepted them calmly without saying anything. After returning home, Yang Shi found that he had 3 defensive talismans on him. Qingxi County returned to peace. But the howling of wolves often came from the Yang family manor. 3 years, 318 days, Yang Shi achieved minor mastery of internal energy cultivation, successfully entering the 7th level of body tempering, marrow sea flourishing. After consuming the marrow cleansing pill, its medicinal power exploded, directly propelling him to the great perfection, breaking through to the 8th level of body tempering, true essence gathering. The Yang family's martial virtue significantly improved, and their incense value increased by 150. 3 years, 320 days, Zhang Xiaobei learned the spring wood longevity technique, casting the spell growth of all things, causing the plants in the spirit field to grow even more luxuriantly. Zhang Xiaobei's cultivation method matched her own aptitude, triggering the talent wood affinity, earth level, significantly increasing her cultivation speed. 3 years, 333 days, after performing the 10th CPR on the iron spine wolf, the wolf, its mouth full of dragon fruit, lowered its head, willingly becoming the Yang family's guardian spirit beast. 3 years, 355 days, the low-grade spirit stone in Zhang Xiaobei's hand turned to dust, absorbing pure spiritual energy and advancing her to the 3rd level of the fetal breathing stage, bringing her great joy. 3 years, 365 days, the family begins ancestral worship. Yang Genshuo groggily woke up from the sofa, seeing that it was time for the annual ancestral worship ceremony again. Your descendant Yang Shi has successfully completed this year's ancestral worship ceremony. Incense value +10. You have received offerings from members of the Yang family. 40 caddies of spirit wheat, 1 box of spirit's oil, and 100 pills of essence strengthening and vitality restoring pills. Do you wish to bestow rewards upon the descendants of the Yang family? In the game, Yang Genshuo's speed fluctuated, causing him to spend only 2 days on the latter half of the year. At this time, the items he ordered from JD.com had arrived. Coffee powder, milk tea powder, candy, chocolate, and a box of exquisite Three Kingdoms kill cards. He bought a full 30,000 yuan worth of supplies and threw them all in. Yang Shi happily accepted them. The milk tea was fine, since he had already mastered the recipe for making his own simple milk tea. But they really didn't have any coffee powder there. The gluttonous old beggar had taken it all when he left. Yang's board game tea house almost lost one of its signature tea dishes. Ignoring Yang Shi's affairs, Yang Genshuo got up from the sofa and checked the offerings, all of which he had arranged with Yang Shi beforehand, as they were very useful. Leaving the study, he casually broke off a tree branch and practiced a set of movements from the traceless sword technique, feeling his blood and energy flow smoothly. His mood increased by 1. After stretching his muscles, Yang Genshuo took a shower and looked in the mirror. His body was losing weight at an astonishing rate, and his skin was incredibly firm and smooth. He weighed himself. 186 pounds. Less than a week, I've lost 14 pounds. Amazing. At 1.8 meters tall, he used to weigh 200 pounds, with a noticeable belly and a round face, exuding the greasy feeling of someone in their 30s. Now, his youthful appearance had returned. Seeing his physique returning to its youthful state, Yang Genshuo looked on with admiration. I'm so damn cool. In the yard, the insulated box contained the lunch Lin Yu had prepared for lunch, the spirit rice emitting an enticing aroma. After finishing the meal, Yang Genshuo placed a large box of oil dug from the spirit field in the Bentley's trunk, then grabbed a handful of spirit wheat and tossed it in. He drove away from home. Opening the window, he enjoyed the glances from passers-by, a smile involuntarily creeping onto his face. Awesome. Vroom. 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 With the roar of the 4.0T engine, he drove towards Ximen Agricultural University. After placing the large box of spirit's oil in Chengbo's lab, he instructed him to quickly produce the hybrid spirit rice. Then, he drove to the nearest compressed biscuit factory, Hongfeng Food Factory. This used to be a popular job for students majoring in food science and engineering next door, a top-tier state-owned enterprise. He remembered that several of his classmates had come here after graduation. P.S. Vehicle, Bentley Bentayga. Source, Chapters 11-12, a gift from the kidney-deficient young master Zhao Xianxi. This section was revised previously, long-time readers may not have noticed. You can go back to these 2 chapters to take a look. Chapter 32 The Thief. Ximen City, Huquan County. Hongfeng Food Factory is located 60 kilometers from the city center. Once a state-owned enterprise, Hongfeng Food Factory enjoyed a period of prosperity, supplying the military. Yang Genshuo even impersonated a food engineering student to take the entrance exam after graduation, but failed. However, it gradually became a privately owned joint stock company a few years ago, and he didn't know its current situation. But it's easier to get work when it's privately owned. He drove into the Hongfeng Food Factory. The security guard at the gate glanced at the car logo, stubbed out his cigarette, and quickly stood up and saluted. Sir, I'd like to order some compressed biscuits. Where can I find them? The business department. Look over there, The office I'm pointing to is there. He unexpectedly ran into an old classmate when he went to the business department to inquire about borrowing the compressed biscuit production line. Sumenki, you're Genshuo? You've gotten fatter than back in school. I almost didn't recognize you. Sumenki was dressed in a professional OL outfit, wrapped in black stockings, looking beautiful and mature. She was the most beautiful girl in the food science department back in school, and her looks are still stunning, even more charming now. How you haven't changed much? Still so pretty. You still have such a sweet tongue? What? Going to enter the food industry? Yeah, I have a new product. Yang Genshuo told his old classmate about his requirements, which surprised her. A compressed biscuit with only one ingredient? That's doable, but the market share for compressed biscuits is quite small right now. Can you sell this product? Don't lose money, don't worry, I have my own sales channels. Yang Genshuo smiled mysteriously. With a market right at his doorstep, sales are no problem. He then toured the workshop, taking the opportunity to admire his old classmate's white shirt that looked like it was about to burst. After going through the process, he paid the 20,000 yuan startup fee and comfortably got the production line up and running. After bringing over the barley wheat, Yang Genshuo specifically instructed Sumenki, this wheat is a new variety, not yet available on the market, and very expensive. It must be handled with care. I don't want any of these 50 jin, 25 caddies, of wheat to go to waste. No wonder you're so confident. Your wheat really is fragrant. Don't worry. Leave it to me. I can pick up the samples in 2 days. 50 jin of barley wheat wouldn't even be enough to fill a gap in this massive production line. Okay, I'm off. Call me if you need anything. I'll see you off. Sumenki, who had been maintaining a slightly reserved demeanor, suddenly changed her expression when she saw the Bentley Bentega's diamond-cut headlights illuminate. At that moment, her old classmate's image suddenly became mysterious and imposing. Yang Genshuo got into the car and waved, see you another day. Yeah, I'll treat you to dinner next time I'm free. Okay, boom. The Bentley Bentega's engine roared out with dynamic exhaust notes, taking Yang Genshuo away from the red maple food factory, leaving Sumenki still in a daze, her mind now filled with a little winged car logo. Half a day had passed since Yang Genshuo finished processing the spirit's oil and spirit wheat. Only half a day had passed in the game as well, and it was already night. Yang Genshuo was about to switch to speed up mode when he noticed something strange on the screen. In the open space in front of the tea house, 3 explorable character cards were floating. What the hell? If this game weren't not an online game, Yang Genshuo would have thought his internet was lagging and the character models hadn't loaded. When he zoomed in, he discovered the problem. Below the 3 character cards were faint, humanoid glows from system prompts, but ambient light couldn't penetrate them. It was pitch black. Yang Genshuo opened one of the character cards name, Miao Renfeng Identity, member of the Miao family lifespan. 36/95 realm, 9th level of the fetal breathing stage spiritual root, 5 spiritual roots comprehension. 10 luck. 20 talent, spiritual object perception, mortal level, skills. 5 elements transportation technique, masterful empty hands, masterful, refraction technique, swift movement technique, fire breathing technique, spiritual rain technique, entanglement technique status, refraction. The other 2 people also had the surname Miao, and their skills were similar. Both cultivated the 5 elements transportation technique, but their cultivation levels were slightly lower, one at the 7th level of the fetal breathing stage and the other at the 5th level. Refraction technique? No wonder we couldn't see what these 3 people were doing outside our tea house. While Yang Genshuo was pondering, the 3 figures in the refraction state spoke. Once we're inside, find those 9 boxes of 3 kingdoms kill cards. Once we have them, we'll leave. Brother, Yang Shi is a subordinate of the Shi sect. Won't this cause trouble for the family? The Shi sect people have already left. By the time he calls, we'll have the cards and be flying away. These cards sell for 10 spirit stones a box on the black market. 9 boxes. This one heist will be enough for us to earn a year's worth. This place has weak defenses, not even a formation. We're good at stealth, moving like the wind. They won't even know who stole them. What if someone sees us? Kill. Hearing the 3 discussing, Yang Genshuo was suddenly shocked. His house had been burgled. And coincidentally, Yang Shi, Zheng Xiaobei, and Hu Zi were all at the tea house today. After the ancestral worship, they were sorting and storing the supplies Yang Genshuo had brought in. Zheng Xiaobei had even made an account book, already several pages full. No time to lose. Let's get this going. Vitality, plus tranquility, were directly applied to the three individuals. While it didn't directly increase their combat power, slightly improving their reaction speed and mental state was enough, better than nothing. Sensing the changes in his body, Yang Shi immediately looked up at the ancestral tablet. Why is the ancestor bestowing blessings upon me at this time? Zheng Xiaobei and Hu Zi stood up. I felt it too. How peculiar. Is this what Brother Shi meant by ancestral blessings? This was Hu Zi's first time receiving Yang Genshuo's blessing. Yang Shi's brows furrowed. The ancestor didn't usually bestow blessings without reason, they only appeared when he diligently practiced. It seemed to take a toll on the ancestor's cultivation. Something's wrong, something's about to happen, prepare for battle. Yang Shi realized this even as Yang Genshuo typed. At that moment, a line of large golden characters appeared above his head. Thieves at the door, they're hostile. I've marked their strength and location, time to kill the thieves. Yang Genshuo wouldn't let Yang Shi harbor any illusions, thinking these people would just steal a few boxes of cards and leave. There were so many good things in the backyard, including a whole box of 3 Kingdoms kill cards. These 3 thieves were definitely not good people. Yang Shi, remember the combined attack technique I taught you? Watch my command? Yes, yes, lights out. The lights in the backyard were all turned off, plunging the entire Yang's board game tea house into darkness. But for Yang Shi and his 2 companions, this place was so familiar they wouldn't get lost even with their eyes closed. At this moment, the door creaked open. 3 thieves surnamed Miao quietly crept in. In the pitch-black hall, the large golden characters above their heads were particularly conspicuous. Through the crack in the window, Yang Shi saw the comparison of strength between himself and his enemy, and his mind raced. The 36 stratagems and Sun Tzu's art of war began to be frantically analyzed in his mind. Chapter 33 Encirclement and Slaughter of the Thief Cultivator. 3 Miao cultivators used a refraction technique, their figures concealed in the darkness. However, the 3 large characters above their heads allowed Yang Shi and his companions to lock onto the enemy and notice the unusual surroundings. The area where the 3 were located was even darker, impervious to moonlight, which, once noticed by the 3, became their weakness. In just a moment, Yang Shi devised a countermeasure. He gave a few hand gestures, and the other 2 understood what to do. Then they waited quietly for the opportunity. Seeing the 3 separate and search the first, second, and third floors, Yang Shi's eyes sharpened, pointing at the person below. Take them down one by one. Snap. Tiger cracked his whip, and the iron spine wolf, which had been crouching in the corner, pounced on the lone 5th-level nascent soul cultivator below. Howl. The iron spine wolf was incredibly fast, crashing into Miao-san like a cannonball. Thump. It gave him absolutely no time to react. This was a key refining stage wolf. Having been fed dragon fruit for 30 days and beaten until its heart stopped 10 times before being tamed, this creature was extremely ferocious. Its entire body was made of steel and iron. This wasn't a metaphor, but a physical representation of its hardness. This collision was practically a stroke of luck. Miao-san immediately coughed up blood and collapsed unconscious. You beast! How dare you hurt my brother? Fire! Miao Renfeng on the 2nd floor, his eyes blazing with fury, slammed 2 fingers together, sending a ball of flame flying towards the wolf. At once the iron spine wolf darted into the darkness, disappearing, the flame landing on the floor and sending sparks flying. Who's behind the window? Another Miao-lower, at the 7th level of the nascent soul stage, heard the sound of Hu Zi cracking his whip and drew his dagger. Golden sword technique. A golden light emanated from the dagger, incredibly sharp. He accelerated, attacking the 3 people behind the window. What greeted him was sizzling, sizzling, sizzling. The 3 people sprayed highly concentrated pepper spray through the window cracks, directly drenching him over the head. Caught off guard, his 5 senses were directly assaulted. However, being a cultivator, he immediately formed a hand seal upon seeing the danger. 5 elements transport technique. Heat surged from his body, forcibly expelling the capsaicin that had invaded his system. This technique was indeed remarkable. After activating it, he no longer needed to breathe, and his body rapidly excreted capsaicin, a stark contrast to Zhao Kuangfeng's condition back then. But in the time it took him to retreat, Yang Shi had already made his move. Flowing water sword, the mid-grade magic weapon, once unleashed, was enveloped in a hazy mist, obscuring the swordplay, perfectly complementing Yang Shi's traceless sword technique. Sword flowers were seen through the mist, the sword intent hidden in the ethereal light. Wind passes without a trace, a single sword strike aimed straight for Miao Lao's head. Under the night sky, this sword strike was as silent as a gust of wind passing through the mist. Clang! A blue tortoise shell popped out from Miao Lao's chest, precisely blocking Yang Shi's attack. Defensive magic weapon, Yang Shi remained calm, his swordplay shifting rapidly as he unleashed another strike. Silent rain. The dense sword strikes of the flowing water sword, imbued with watery spiritual energy, swept over, elevating this swordsmanship to the level of a demonic swordsman. Miao Lao, regaining his senses, also brandished his golden dagger, engaging Yang Shi in battle. An inch longer, an inch stronger, many of Yang Shi's sword moves landed on him, but were all blocked by the tortoise shell. You martial artist dares to use a mid-grade magic weapon? Brother, let's kill him together. Snap! Tiger cracked his whip, and the iron spine wolf, hidden in the shadows, leaped out, pouncing on Miao Rinfeng, who was tending to his companion. Divine speed technique, a yellowish-brown aura emanated from beneath his feet, greatly increasing Miao Rinfeng's speed, allowing him to quickly dodge the wolf's attack. You beast! Watch out for fire! He shot out extremely hot flames from 2 fingers, and the wolf cleverly dodged left and right. But the flames were incredibly powerful, quickly igniting Yang's board game tea house, constantly compressing the wolf's movement space. You beast, let's see how long you can hide. Fire, flames erupted, instantly suppressing the wolf, a mere key refining stage 1 cultivator, preventing it from getting close. While its true form was that of a wolf, its body was extremely tough, but not fireproof. Several patches of its fur were already scorched, making it look quite pathetic. Zhang Xiaobei head to the side, clutching the moon mirror, which wasn't yet fully charged with spiritual energy, but without Yang Shi's order, he wouldn't use it for the time being. Seeing the flames filling the room, Zhang Xiaobei had a sudden inspiration and sat cross-legged on the ground. Spirit rain technique, the surrounding spiritual energy, carrying moisture, surged into the tea house, causing rain to fall and continuously extinguish the flames on the ground. The 5 elements counteract each other. Water counters fire. After the small flames on its body were extinguished, the wolf felt much better, its red eyes glaring fiercely at Miao Rinfeng. Howl! It pounced, biting, but Miao Rinfeng nimbly dodged. Such a small spiritual rain, can it extinguish my raging fire? Fire, come! He popped a pill into his mouth, his spiritual power surging, and flames erupted from his hand, like a gas canister spewing fire. The spiritual rain was scorched into mist before it even landed. Forced to break his spell with fire, Zhang Xiaobei's 3rd-level nascent soul cultivation was stretched thin, his face pale, unable to withstand the attack, and his cultivation collapsed. The azure wolf, pointed at by the surging flames, was charred black as soon as it got close, and could only retreat, looking for an opening. Then try my spiritual rain technique, blessing, spiritual rain technique, an even larger surge of spiritual power, carrying a torrent of water vapor, rushed into the tea house, and a torrential rain began. Miao Rinfeng's flames were extinguished into small flames, barely managing to stay afloat. There's another expert. Miao Rinfeng was shocked. The scale of this spiritual rain technique indicated that the cultivator was at least at his level, and specializing in water-based techniques, which countered his most proficient fire-breathing technique. This was bad, he had to retreat. In the face of indecision, running away is the ancestral motto of the Miao family, a clan of thieves. Second brother, let's go. He turned to reach for his 3rd brother, who lay on the ground, but what he saw horrified him. A tiger with flames under its paws had already ripped the unconscious 3rd brother through the heart with a single claw. 3rd brother, Little Fire, a fire attribute spirit beast, had secretly slipped away while Miao Rinfeng was spewing flames, instantly eliminating one of them. The azure wolf was now completely at ease, running swiftly through the spiritual rain, launching a fierce attack on Miao Rinfeng, forcing him to defend with all his might. Clang! Snap! Yang Shi's traceless sword technique, enhanced by the flowing water sword, became unpredictable and mysterious. After dozens of strikes, he finally shattered the opponent's protective magic artifact, the tortoise shell, into pieces. Shadowless follows, the flowing water sword shadow spread, deflecting Miao Lao's golden dagger, and delivered a fatal blow to the throat. Cough! Ugh! Miao Lao clutched his neck, his eyes filled with resentment as he collapsed. He hadn't even been able to defeat a martial artist who wasn't even a grandmaster of the innate realm. Second brother, Miao Renfeng cried out in anguish once more. At this point, he had no intention of continuing the fight. Entangle, he flung out a branch, which twirled several times in the air before binding Kang Lang mist dispersion. A cloud of gray powder rained down, exploding into a cloud of smoke. Miao Renfeng broke through the encirclement and fled Yang's board game tea house. Kang Lang had been burned in several places by the flames in the previous battle and was also bound, so he was now unable to pursue. As everyone ran out of the tea house, Miao Renfeng was on the rooftop nearby, fleeing into the distance. I'll remember the grudge for killing my brother. One day I will make you pay many times over. You will all die? Miao Renfeng's resentful voice came from afar. Yang Shi sighed. Xiao Bai, use it, okay? Spiritual energy was poured in, and the moon mirror, now 80% charged, shone with a purple light. Then, with a whoosh, a dazzling stream of light shot out, hurtling towards Miao Renfeng. Poof! The light pierced through Miao Renfeng's chest and disappeared. Thump! Miao Renfeng fell from the roof. He gasped for breath, but air was leaking from a hole in his chest, and blood spurted from his mouth. Spare my life, I'm willing. PFFT, a sword slashed down, separating his body like a water blade. After the fierce battle, the flowing water sword was spotless. He sheathed the sword. Carry the bodies over and see if they have any good stuff on them. The previous 2 chapters have been completely revised. Please don't scold me anymore. Considering your sincere attitude, please give me a monthly vote. Chapter 34: The collaboration between martial arts cultivators and immortal cultivators. In this battle, Yang Shi, at the 8th level of body tempering, shone brightly with a flowing water sword, personally slaying 2 nascent soul cultivators. He was second only to the MVP, the iron-spined wolf. Being a key refining stage spirit beast, it immediately eliminated one enemy and then entangled the strongest, Miao Renfeng, buying Yang Shi time to kill Miao, a 7th level nascent soul cultivator. This mid-grade magic weapon, the flowing water sword, is truly a wonderful thing. It perfectly suits my traceless sword technique. Yang Shi stroked the flowing water sword, clearly pleased. Its built-in illusionary effect and water blade destructive power greatly enhanced his strength. Without this sword, he wouldn't have been able to kill Miao. At most, he could have only restrained him. Zhang Xiaobei touched the now powerless moon mirror, looking distressed. It'll take half a year to use it. It's better than letting him escape, otherwise, we wouldn't have a single peaceful night's sleep. They brought the 3 corpses back to the tea house, and Zhang Xiaobei painstakingly cleaned up the now chaotic mess. Hu Zi skillfully examined the corpses. Hey, Brother Shi, these 3 thieves have a lot of good stuff on them. Hu Zi laid out the spoils on the ground. A small pile of low-grade spirit stones, 38 in total. A bag of miscellaneous hidden weapons. 2 pieces of broken tortoise shell. A jade slip containing the cultivation technique 5 elements transporting technique. 4 spirit recovery pills. A hard bronze dagger, shimmering with spiritual light, a low-grade magic weapon. Yang Genshuo could see the dagger's attributes through its attribute card. Spell-breaking dagger, quality, low-grade magic weapon, extremely sharp, highly effective against defensive magic weapons and talismans. No wonder I always felt that the second brother's dagger wasn't very powerful. Yang Shi doesn't have a defensive magic weapon, and his attack power isn't high enough to trigger the 3 defensive talismans given by Murin Ziyan. The reason Yang Shi dared to risk his life and actively entangle one of them was because of the courage given by these 3 defensive talismans, high-grade defensive talismans capable of withstanding attacks from key refining stage cultivators. Opening one of the items, Yang Genshuo found that even the combined strength of these 3 couldn't break through the defenses. Looking at the spoils, Yang Genshuo found it somewhat amusing that the person who had been knocked unconscious by Kangling was carrying a large number of hidden weapons, seemingly quite lethal, probably comparable to pepper spray and a stun gun, yet he was dead before he could even use a single one. Among them, Miao Renfeng's possessions were the most valuable. The spirit recovery pill was a first-grade elixir, used to quickly restore spiritual power. In a battle between cultivators, one pill could potentially change the course of the battle. The reason Miao Renfeng was able to suppress Kanglang, who was only at the 1st level of key refining, with only the 9th level of fetal breathing, was because this pill provided an inexhaustible supply of spiritual power. In the market, it would sell for at least 5 low-grade spirit stones per pill. Xiaobei's current abilities were too low, Consuming such a good pill would be a waste, so Yang Shi put it away for now. Furthermore, the most valuable item was the cultivation technique Jade Slip. Zhang Xiaobei held it in his hand, explored it with his spiritual power, and read its contents. The 5 elements transport technique is a key cultivation technique specifically designed for cultivators with 5 spiritual roots. It can be cultivated up to the foundation establishment stage. Since ancient times, the 5 spiritual roots have been considered useless, making it difficult to ascend the path of immortality. Most cultivators reach a bottleneck after the key refining stage, and even if they exhaust their lifespan, they cannot break through to the foundation establishment stage. However, a foundation establishment stage senior with 5 spiritual roots believed that the 5 spiritual roots were not entirely useless. On the contrary, because the spiritual roots possess all 5 elements, they can form their own 5-element spiritual energy cycle. Hence the creation of this technique. It only takes 5 times the time of a cultivator of the same level to cultivate a 5-element circulating spiritual energy vortex within the body, thus becoming invincible among those of the same level, and even capable of fighting beyond their level. Yang Genshuo was initially listening with great interest, but the last sentence made him lose his composure. What a stupid technique, only 5 times the time, good heavens, others with 5 spiritual roots spend 20 years cultivating qi. And you're supposed to spend 100 years at the great perfection of fetal breathing, preparing to advance. Death will always be one step ahead of your cultivation. That's ridiculous. Yang Genshuo could also see the description when he clicked on the technique himself. Aside from what Zhang Xiaobei read, this cultivation technique wasn't without its merits. If one doesn't pursue the 5-element cycle spiritual energy vortex, it's not much different from ordinary cultivation techniques, possessing one spell from each of the 5 elements. Golden Sword Technique, Swift Movement Technique, Fire Breathing Technique, Spirit Rain Technique, and Entangling Technique. These were the spells the 3 Miao brothers had used in their recent duel. No Refraction Technique or Empty Hands? Looks like those are their family's inherited skills. Those 2 skills are obviously good for thievery. As for the Miao family, Yang Shi had heard Liu Wuhan mention them once. Known as the parasite family of the Danai dynasty, everyone there was a thief, with a terrible reputation. But no one had ever seen the Miao family's ancestral home, otherwise, cultivators would surely have united to retaliate. After collecting their spoils, the group went to rest. Yang Genshuo, however, was staring at Yang Shi's character card. His talent has leveled up again. After the last market incident, Yang Genshuo went to sleep, letting them develop freely for a few months. At that time, Yang Shi took the marrow cleansing pill after advancing to the 7th level of body tempering, and immediately advanced to the 8th level of body tempering. The marrow cleansing pill is an essential pill for all cultivators, which can improve some spiritual root aptitude. Yang Shi used its medicinal power to help him temper his body, and after forcibly breaking through a realm, he also improved some aptitude, lifespan. 22/77, comprehension. 30, talent, amused person, mortal, crying and laughing ++, mortal, crying and laughing ++, mortal, efficiency will fluctuate greatly depending on mood. Happiness +30%, depression -30%, affected by the mind clarity technique. Lifespan has increased by 5 years, comprehension has increased by 10 points, and talent has leveled up again. He looked at yesterday's event record system. The marrow cleansing pill increased his lifespan and comprehension, and as he continued to break through realms, the heart clarity technique further enhanced this talent. This internal energy cultivation method is really interesting. Yang Genshuo even wanted to try it himself. But after thinking about it for a moment, he realized he didn't seem to have any talent at all. Right, what would happen if Xiaobei also practiced the heart clarity technique? Could her earth-level talent, would affinity, still evolve? This world doesn't say that cultivators can't practice internal energy cultivation, right? Use internal energy cultivation to enhance talent, and use talent to enhance cultivation speed and spell power. Yang Genshuo felt like he had found a link between martial arts cultivators and immortal cultivators. At the same time, Yang Genshuo thought that the marrow cleansing pill was a good thing. When the market opens next year, he needs to buy 2 more, one for himself and one for Xiaobei. He pressed the time acceleration button. 4 years and 2 days, 3 headless cultivator corpses were thrown outside Yang's board game tea house, shocking the few rogue cultivators staying in Qingxi County. The iron spine wolf squatted outside the tea house every day, deterring those with impure intentions. Zhang Xiaobei begins practicing the Mingxinju, Hu Zi breaks through to the 6th level of body tempering, enters the Bakiju, and gains the new talent Overlord, mortal level. 4 years and 46 days later, the spirit beast Xiaoho consumes a rock berry, causing its aura to surge and advancing to the 4th level of fetal breathing. 4 years and 87 days later, Yang Shi experiences a sudden enlightenment during sparring with Liu Wuhan, greatly increasing his proficiency in the Wuhan sword technique to mastery. 4 years and 97 days later, Zhang Xiaobei turns 18 years old. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35, The Origin of the Mind Clarity Manual. Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei were married. All the prominent figures in Qingxi County attended, even a few rogue cultivators came to offer their congratulations. The banquet stretched for several streets, anyone who came could eat, and even passing dogs were given bowls of leftovers. This was the most extravagant wedding Qingxi County had seen in recent years. Of course, there was one aloof entity that ignored Yang Shi, the Xiang family. That towering mansion was almost entirely inhabited by monks who seemed detached from worldly affairs. The people of Qingxi County had rarely seen anyone from the Xiang family over the years. Perhaps it was because so much time had passed, or perhaps the surname Yang was too common, but to this day, no one knew that Yang Shi was a child left behind by the Yang family that had been wiped out. The wedding ended amidst the festivities and noise, and Yang Shi, who never drank, was quite drunk today. Back in their room, the two held hands tightly by the bedside, their eyes meeting. The thin, dirty little girl had grown into a graceful young woman, her eyes filled with love as she looked at Yang Shi. "Brother, we're family now, right? Always have been." Yang Shi hugged Zhang Xiaobei, and the two lonely souls finally had someone to rely on. It all felt so natural. "Brother, I want to hear you tell me the story of the day you brought me home." "Okay, it's finally settled. Good luck to you too, and try to have a few babies." Although Yang Genshuo was the one who orchestrated the marriage, and the marriage was purposeful from the beginning, the two still ended up together. Two lonely souls could find resonance in many ways. Ling, your descendants have tied the knot, unlocking a new blessing. Spiritual essence can bless pregnant members of the Yang family, increasing the initial talent of the fetus. 200 incense points time can only be used once per fetus. 200, Yang Genshuo exclaimed. This number shocked him. Wow, it's like getting free talent with real money, right? But how can I accumulate so many incense points? These incense points are enough for Yang Shi to practice martial arts every day with vitality for 200 days. There's still enough tranquility for Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei to break through their cultivation levels for 100 days. That means Yang Xiaobei can use the spirit rain technique to tend to the spirit fields. Otherwise, his limited incense wouldn't be enough to bring rain. He glanced at the remaining incense. 168, not even enough for one more blessing. This was the 150 points Yang Shi received last year for advancing 2 levels consecutively. The rest came from planting spirit fields and receiving a few dozen points annually. Blessing a child requires saving up incense income for 1 or 2 years. That means you can't frequently give Yang Shi extra help to speed up his body refinement. Let's save 200 first, try it once, and see the effect. If it gives the child an advantage in spiritual roots, it'll be worth it. Even a triple spiritual root would be very strong, let alone a heavenly spiritual root. He kept this in mind for now. Yang Genshuo stopped observing the two newcomers and activated the time acceleration button. 4 years 120 days, Master Liu Wuhan and his daughter Liu Zihan visited, chatting happily with Yang Shi and his wife. 4 years and 185 days later, the Yang family's spirit rice and spirit wheat matured. Because Zhang Xiaobei frequently used the all things grow technique to cultivate the fields, and his wood-type cultivation method was compatible with the growth attributes of the spirit rice and spirit wheat, the harvest from the spirit fields significantly improved. 4 years and 204 days later, Zhang Xiaobei entered the mind clarity technique, sensing a faint internal energy. His talent Wood Affinity increased to Wood Affinity Plus. Yang Genshuo opened Zhang Xiaobei's character card, Wood Affinity Plus, Earth Rank, Wood-type cultivation speed plus 13%, Wood-type spell power plus 13%. Sure enough, After cultivating this inner energy, Zhang Xiaobei's talent has also evolved. What powerful martial arts! Cultivation is all about time. A 3% increase in cultivation speed over a long period is a very significant difference. An extra 3% power will also make farming and fighting slightly stronger. If Yang Shi's mortal level talent, laughing and crying, improvement felt normal to Yang Genshuo, the attribute improvement to his cultivation talent made Yang Genshuo realize that this inner energy cultivation method was not so simple. Manifestation. Go ask your master who created this mind clarity technique. What is its origin? Yes, ancestor. Yang Shi had not previously delved into the origin of this cultivation method. He only felt that after learning it, he felt peaceful and calm, and could concentrate better on everything he did. After arriving at Liu Wuhan's house, Liu Zihan came out first. Senior brother, are you looking for junior sister? I'm looking for master. He's busy. Why don't we go for a spring outing together? He'll be done by the time we get back, then I'll come later. HMPH boring. He's inside. Liu Zihan walked away angrily. Yang Shi smiled wryly. His master's daughter was good in every way, except that after he saved her, she always had a special affection for him, even after he married Zhang Xiaobei. Ma Zihan doesn't understand your feelings? You've disappointed your master. Liu Wuhan shook his head and walked out. Yang Shi cupped his hands in greeting. Master. Zihan is your precious daughter, and she is also extremely outstanding. Why bother getting entangled with someone like me who is already married? HMPH. Pathetic. Liu Wuhan sneered. A good man born between heaven and earth should have 3 wives and 4 concubines. What's wrong with being married? Then why are you still single? Master, Liu Wuhan, come, let me see how your Wuhan sword technique is progressing. Let me see if your swordsmanship can compare to your verbal skills. Master, I won't practice swordsmanship today. I have important business to attend to. Yang Shi quickly inquired about the Mingxinju. Liu Wuhan wasn't surprised. This inner energy cultivation method wasn't created by me, but rather something I obtained by chance when I was young. This method has benefited me greatly, especially after I reached the innate grandmaster level, when I truly mastered its mysteries. And this also led to my marriage with your master's wife. Oh? I have a master's wife? You're really asking for trouble, otherwise where did Zihan come from? Then what about my master's wife? Yang Genshuo asked cautiously, afraid of stirring up painful memories for his master. Liu Wuhan glanced at him speechlessly. Don't overthink it. Your master's wife is alive and well. She won't die even if you die. Is your master's wife a cultivator? Not stupid at all. Liu Wuhan's eyes were deep, as if recalling past events. This was the first time Yang Shi had heard his master mention his master's wife's identity. Alright, let's not talk about your master's wife anymore. Let me tell you about the mind clarity technique. It was created by an extraordinary person. Although he was a grandmaster of the innate realm, he could still kill key refining cultivators. It's that powerful. It's understandable that an innate grandmaster could deal with a few nascent soul stage cultivators, but the key refining stage is truly the path to immortality. Immortal techniques are infinitely wondrous. An innate grandmaster with only physical strength would probably be killed 100 meters away before even touching anyone. At most, he would have the ability to escape. After all, he's tough and resilient, and his speed isn't slow either. Who is this person? His real name is unknown. In the martial world, he's known as the Great Nine Martial God, the #1 innate grandmaster in the world. Yang Genshuo recorded this clue in his notebook. If there's an opportunity in the future, I can let Yang Shi become his disciple. Perhaps he can learn a few martial arts on par with the mind clarity technique based on the information he gathered at the last market, especially from talking to those 4 disciples of the Xuanxi sect. It's almost impossible for someone without spiritual roots to embark on the path of cultivation. Unless he found the legendary innate spiritual treasure that could reshape one's physical body, but even the Xuanxi sect didn't possess such a thing. Yang Genshuo felt that unless he stumbled upon a stroke of incredible luck, he was utterly unworthy of pursuing such a treasure in his entire life. And if he did stumble upon a stroke of incredible luck, that was even less likely. Yang Shi's luck was only 10 points, an extremely ordinary level, barely enough to maintain a normal life and avoid misfortune. Therefore, he should focus on the path of martial arts first. The matter of cultivating immortality could be left to his descendants. As Yang Genshuo was thinking this, an exciting message popped up in the game. 4 years and 265 days, Zhang Xiaobei is pregnant. 1 month until the opening of Qingxi Fang Market. Another update coming soon. Chapter 36 Low-Grade Magic Weapon Set, 5-Element Spirit Orb. I've got it, Yang Genshuo excitedly pumped his fist. Once this child is born, the Yang family will no longer be just Yang Shi alone. Many children, many blessings. That's what a cultivation family is all about. This excited Yang Genshuo even more than Yang Shi's current achievement of becoming a grandmaster of the innate realm. I hope it's a child with spiritual roots. Yang Genshuo looked at the less than 200 incense offerings and felt a little worried. The annual market is about to open. I need to find a way to earn some more incense offerings. Yang Genshuo did have a good idea. Spiritual manifestation. Yang Shi, this year the ancestor will teach you a new strategy. Hunger marketing. Time accelerated again. 4 years and 285 days. The rogue cultivators have gradually gathered in Qingxi County. Bai Heiyu of the Xuanxi sect came alone. Yang Shi announced the holding of the second Demon Lord Championship. 4 years and 286 days later, Yang Shi announced that the master craftsman who created the Three Kingdoms kill card game had returned to the scene. After a year of refinement, he had produced 14 more sets of cards. He would auction off one beautifully sealed Three Kingdoms kill card set daily, and each set would come with a limited edition divine card. This news immediately made the independent cultivators drool. The master only made 14 sets of cards a year. Buy one set and get a free divine card. Shouldn't we hurry up and grab them? I'm going to buy them all. 4 years and 300 days later, the Demon Lord tournament concluded. Bai Heiyu's strength increased dramatically this year, and his total points entered the top 6. Zhang Xiaobei was unable to participate in the competition due to her pregnancy. Yang Shi sold 14 sets of Three Kingdoms kill cards, earning a total of 125 low-grade spirit stones. The family's assets exceeded 100 low-grade spirit stones for the first time, and the incense value increased by 50. Good. Saving money really does increase the number of offerings. Blessing, spiritual essence. A golden stream of light shot into Zhang Xiaobei's belly from the ancestral tablets of the Yang family, enveloping the little life growing inside. Zhang Xiaobei, enlightened, bowed slightly to the ancestral tablets. Xiaobei and the baby thanked the ancestors for their blessings. 4 years and 301 days, Qingxi market officially opens. After the market opened this time, Yang Shi didn't sell his family's spirit wheat and spirit rice, but stockpiled them in the warehouse. He earned spirit stones this year by selling cards, and the 3 Miao family members also contributed some. Currently, he has a total of 165 low-grade spirit stones. Buy 3 marrow cleansing pills, 1 each for Yang Genshuo, Zhang Xiaobei, and Hu Zi. Hu Zi's talent, small talent, big success, has been working hard in recent years, and with a supply from the Yang family, his martial arts training speed is not much slower than Yang Shi's. This year, he has a chance to enter the 7th level of the body tempering realm, and he can also use the marrow cleansing pill to forcibly break through to the 8th level. The marrow cleansing pill was a common first-grade elixir, not lacking in the market. Yang Shi browsed around and bought it for 54 low-grade spirit stones. I still have 111 low-grade spirit stones left. Yang Genshuo's eyes were glazed over from rummaging through things. Besides proper cultivation supplies, these rogue cultivators had a lot of miscellaneous items. Most of them were seemingly useless junk. Yang Genshuo was digging for gold in the dung, his hands cramping, before he finally found a decent magic weapon. To be precise, a set of magic weapons. Following Yang Genshuo's directions, Yang Shi arrived at a solitary stall, with no one else setting up stalls around. The stall displayed 5 beads of different colors and several strangely shaped spirit stones. The stall owner, a middle-aged man, was intently carving on a low-grade spirit stone with a glowing jade carving knife. As the knife carved lines, thud, a low-grade spirit stone exploded, sending Yang Shi flying with tremendous force. He crashed into the opposite wall and slowly slid down. Yang Shi grimaced as he stood up, brushing the dirt off his clothes. I think I know why you're the only stall here. He wasn't at the epicenter of the explosion, he was just hit by the shockwave and sent flying. The force was enough to overturn half a street's worth of stalls. He's sorry, I was so engrossed in my work that I didn't notice you. Do you want to see something? The middle-aged man scratched his head. A silver light appeared on his stall, which remained perfectly still. Huh? How did you secure your stall? A simple earth-binding array. Oh, so it's an earth-binding array. Yang Shi was completely bewildered. What was an earth-binding array? He had no knowledge of it. Yang Genshuo, however, knew. He had been observing this stall for a long time. The owner was a key refining level 2 array master, probably the highest level cultivator in the market this year besides Bai Heiyu. Yang Shi didn't say much, to avoid revealing his ignorance due to lack of knowledge. How much for these beads? 5 element spirit beads. This is a set of 5 low-grade magic artifacts. They can be thrown to track and attack enemies, and can automatically retrieve themselves. When combined, they can activate the 5 elements gathering spirit array. How many spirit stones? You can tell I'm short of spirit stones right now, otherwise I wouldn't be selling these artifacts. A single low-grade magic artifact is around 15 to 20 spirit stones. I have a set of 5, which can activate the 5 elements gathering spirit array to increase cultivation speed. I'm selling them for 100 low-grade spirit stones, no bargaining. After saying this, he took out a low-grade spirit stone from his pocket and continued carving. If he hadn't known Yang Shi was a member of the Xuanxi sect, he wouldn't have given a price to Immortal. Yang Shi pondered for a moment and asked, "What's this on your table?" "An array, one-time use array stones, 2 low-grade spirit stones each, all types available. I'll buy this set of 5 element spirit beads, and you give me 5 array stones, how about that? Choose for yourself." Yang Shi spent 100 low-grade spirit stones and took away the 5 element spirit beads and 5 one-time use array stones. Yang Genshuo looked thoughtfully at the array master's character card. Extremely high array talent. This person is a prodigy. It's a pity we don't have the strength to make him loyal. Occasionally, some exceptionally talented individuals will appear among the rogue cultivators, but with the Yang family's current capabilities, it's not enough to recruit them for their own use. So, let's continue developing. There wasn't much left to exchange in the market. Just as Yang Genshuo was about to speed up the flow of time, his gaze swept across the street and he saw 2 masked cultivators with strong spiritual energy fluctuations. A key refining stage expert, he opened the 2's character cards and was immediately shocked. The demonic cultivators of Blood Soul Valley, they even want to destroy this market. Just as Yang Genshuo was about to warn Yang Shi, the 2 men left the market and headed south towards the county town. South of the town, the Xiang family, Yang Genshuo appeared and told Yang Shi, "Ancestor, I've planted spies in the restaurant over there. They'll let me know if they notice anything unusual." Yang Shi had never forgotten the deep-seated hatred between the Yang family and his family. He was just waiting for the right opportunity. The next day, news indeed arrived. Last night, many carriages left the Xiang family's residence, carrying away a large amount of supplies. They were escorted by 2 masked men, one in front and one behind. The Xiang family still has ties with Blood Soul Valley. This discovery weighed heavily on Yang Shi's mind. Yang Genshuo ordered Yang Shi to plan carefully before acting, and not to attract the Xiang family's attention without absolute certainty. They were far from being a match for the Xiang family. They needed more time. 4 years and 305 days later, the Qingxi market closed, and the rogue cultivators left to seek their own opportunities. Zheng Xiaobei used the 5 element spirit pearl to set up the 5 elements gathering spirit array. Cultivating within the array increased his cultivation speed by 20% compared to usual. 4 years and 365 days, your descendant Yang Shi successfully completed this year's ancestral worship ceremony. Incense value plus 10. You received offerings from members of the Yang family. 1,000 caddies of spirit weed and 1 marrow cleansing pill. Would you bestow a reward upon the Yang family descendants? Grant 100 Nescafe coffee buckets. Coffee is highly regarded among rogue cultivators. This year, the old beggar specifically came to ask for 3 buckets of coffee powder, and Yang Genshuo replenished his supply. So sleepy, I'll do it tomorrow. Time to sleep. Yang Genshuo slept soundly in his study, and time in the game flowed to the 6th year, 5 years and 10 days. Hu Zi broke through to the 7th level of body tempering. After taking the marrow cleansing pill, he broke through to the 8th level of body tempering again. His aptitude slightly increased, and his talent overlord was enhanced. 5 years and 46 days later, Zheng Xiaobei broke through to the 4th level of the fetal breathing stage within the 5 elements gathering spirit array. 5 years and 180 days later, while performing the growth of all things technique in the tiger and leopard forest spirit field, Zheng Xiaobei suddenly felt abdominal pain. Chapter 37 The Fallen Genius. After 5 years and 180 days, Zheng Xiaobei, who was practicing the growth of all things technique in the tiger and leopard forest spirit field, suddenly felt a stomachache. Little fire carried Zhang Xiaobei back to the Yang family manor. Soon after, the sound of a baby crying echoed through the manor. The Yang family has gained a new member, its population is thriving, and the incense offerings increased by 100. Congratulations, Master Yang, it's a boy. Yang Shi took the baby from the midwife. The little one, who had been crying loudly, immediately stopped, staring at Yang Shi's face with a hint of affection in his eyes. How my child can recognize his father. Ancestors, bless us. Our Yang family has an heir, please, ancestors, bestow a name upon the child. Yang Shi knelt before the ancestral tablets, holding the child, his face full of piety. I can name him whatever I want. Yang Shi was the only one left in the Yang family. To ensure that future generations could distinguish which generation he belonged to, a generational name was needed, and this name would begin with this child. Since you've recognized me as your ancestor and started a new family from scratch, then I'll give you a meaningful generation name. After waiting a moment, 24 large golden characters appeared in the sky. The first character was Fu. Looking at the floating character, Yang Shi seemed to feel a surge of intense power. The entire family's operating principles seemed to be condensed within this character. What a grand vision our ancestor has. Yang Shi will now establish this character as our ancestral precept, to be passed down through generations in my Yang family. The golden characters in the sky changed again. From now on, this will be the generation name for my Yang family, with the eldest son having a single character in his name. This child will be called Yang Fu. Yang Genshuo felt that this name was more comfortable than Yang Zihan, or Yang Zihan. Most importantly, when the Yang family has many descendants in the future, he can know which generation each person belongs to and who is the eldest through their names. This is very necessary. Yang Fu, my son is called Yang Fu. Good. Good. Yang Shi, a new father, was so happy he didn't know what to say. Brother, let me see the child. Zhang Xiaobei, being a cultivator, recovered quickly thanks to the nourishment of spiritual energy and was already able to get out of bed. Xiaobei, the child looks a lot like you. I hope he can be a cultivator like you too. I'll test him when he grows up and will know. Yang Genshuo's eyes lit up. I don't need to wait, I can see him now. After naming the child, Yang Fu's character card was unlocked. Yang Genshuo saw a faint spiritual light emanating from the child and was already excited. You must have great aptitude, kid. Our ancestors spent 200 incense offerings for you. Name, Yang Fu. Identity, son of Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei. Lifespan, 1/120. Spiritual roots, 5 spiritual roots. Metal, 30. Wood, 30. Water, 30. Fire, 30. Earth, 30. Realm, none. Comprehension, 50. Luck, 20. Talent, innate wisdom root, heavenly level. The fall of a genius, earthly level. After looking at Xiao Yangfu's character card, Yang Genshuo let out 3 consecutive exclamations of surprise in different tones. He wasn't exaggerating at all, his feelings were extremely complex. The first was Yang Shi's disappointment upon seeing the 5 spiritual root attributes. The second was upon seeing the heavenly level talent, feeling that the Yang family was about to take off. Innate wisdom root, heavenly level, all spiritual root attributes plus 10, comprehension plus 10. At this moment, he looked at the 5 spiritual roots again and discovered that the basic attributes of all 5 spiritual roots were actually 30. Keep in mind, Zhang Xiaobei's most outstanding wood spiritual root was only 23. Yang Genshuo had seen a key refining cultivator with 4 spiritual roots among the Xuanxi sect disciples, but no one with a single spiritual root could reach 30. His spiritual root talent was second only to Bai Heiyu, who had 3 spiritual roots. Spiritual root talent determines cultivation speed and greatly influences the height one can reach in the future. This child has strong spiritual roots and extremely high comprehension. He will surely achieve great things in the future. Before Yang Genshuo could finish celebrating, the second earth level talent left him dumbfounded. The fall of a genius, earth level, cultivation speed before foundation establishment plus 99%, cultivation speed after foundation establishment minus 99%. The good news is, Yang Fu will cultivate to the foundation establishment stage at an extremely fast speed. The bad news is, Yang Fu may remain in the foundation establishment stage forever. A single character card caused Yang Genshuo to experience a roller coaster of emotions. What's going on? Yang Genshuo couldn't tell whether this was good or bad. But based on the information he currently had, Being able to cultivate to the foundation establishment stage meant he could be considered a high-level cultivator in the Yang Shi sect. This child will need a few more years before he can cultivate, so Yang Genshuo decided to observe him first and consider his future. Overall, these 200 incense sticks are still useful. We need to keep accumulating incense sticks. Yang Genshuo sped up time. There wasn't much to do during this period, and the Yang family was developing steadily. Yang Genshuo went to the courtyard to eat with Lin Yu, who had just finished cooking. Lin Yu was happy to see that Yang Genshuo actually had time to eat with her this time, and happily shook the wind chime. Yang Genshuo took out his phone and typed. Recently, have you felt anything unusual? Eating with Brother Shuo has improved my appetite, and the rice at home smells very good. Then eat more. Where did you buy it? Lin Yu wants to buy some for her mother. A friend gave it to me. Next time I have more, I'll ask him to take more. Lin Yu will transfer the money to you. It will be deducted from your salary. Okay. Yang Genshuo didn't dwell on the small amount of spiritual rice. Lin Yu's family wasn't well off. Her mother had raised a deaf-mute child alone, which wasn't easy for her either. Anyway, Yang Shi would offer spirit rice every year, more than he could possibly finish. The spirit rice transformed the body from the inside out, improving overall health. Yang Genshuo felt his bodily functions were fully recovering, especially the damage caused by years of staying up late, getting a sore throat, and drinking alcohol, which was slowly disappearing. The most direct feeling was in his sense of taste. His taste buds, ravaged by heavy salt, oil, and alcohol for so many years, could now taste the unique flavor of every single vegetable. Lin Yu's strictly nutritious meal, with its simple cooking, actually allowed him to eat several bowls of rice. His body was gradually regaining its youth and purity, a truly magical feeling. Unfortunately, Lin Yu's congenital illness showed no improvement, so Yang Genshuo could only continue to wait. After Lin Yu left, Yang Genshuo took out the marrow cleansing pill that Yang Shi had offered this year. This is a true elixir, a first-grade pill, a universally acknowledged high-quality pill in the cultivation world. Everyone had one. After Zhang Xiaobei finished eating it, each of his 5 spiritual root attributes increased by 1 point. Yang Genshuo was certain he didn't have spiritual roots, but even mortals could benefit from this, gaining health and extending their lifespan by 5 years. After swallowing it, his stomach was filled with the fragrance of the pill. A surge of heat emanated from his Genshin, engulfing his entire body. It felt as if his body was inside a steamer, constantly expelling toxins. Yang Genshuo's body contained far more toxins than Yang Shi, Zhang Xiaobei, and the others. Black filth seeped from every pore. In just a moment, he became reeking. The effects of the medicine lasted for a full hour before ceasing. He felt like a large, fat piece of pork boiled in plain water, emanating a nauseating, pungent stench. After being blanched, his body was firm, with a large amount of foam seeping out. Ugh, how disgusting! Yang Genshuo ran to the bathroom and scrubbed himself thoroughly. He came out after a while. Seeing himself in the mirror, Yang Genshuo was stunned. Is this handsome guy me? In the mirror, his skin was incredibly smooth, as tender as a child's. He had lost a significant amount of weight, and his once round face now had defined features. Having lost a large amount of fat, his muscles were showing, and he felt like he had inexhaustible strength. I've never felt this good. At this moment, he felt he wasn't even as good as he was at 18. He weighed himself. 165 pounds. Wow, 1 pill and he lost 20 pounds? If I gave 2 of those to New Year's film director, he'd make even more money. After finishing, Yang Genshuo glanced at Yang Shi's side. Nothing had happened yet. Besides practicing martial arts with Liu Wuhan, Yang Shi was spending time with Zhang Xiaobei teasing Xiao Yangfu, living a carefree life. If it weren't for occasional reports from spies about the Xiong family, Yang Genshuo would have even thought Yang Shi had forgotten his hatred. Watching time flow rapidly in the game, Yang Genshuo felt like he had forgotten something. Until Su Menki called. Chapter 38 The Sales Problem of Fasting Cakes. Old classmate, your new compressed biscuit sample's ready. Oh, okay, I'll come pick it up in a bit. I'm planning to go back to the city tonight. How about I deliver it to you on my way? That's perfect, thank you. Are you free tonight? I'll treat you to dinner. I'm pretty bored by myself anyway. Okay, sure, I'll treat you. It's all the same. It's a deal. After hanging up, Yang Genshuo didn't think much about Sumenki. It was good that she was willing to deliver it. He had just remembered something more important. What happened to that spirit plant family, the Jie family, in the 4th year, when the market opened for the first time? A key refining stage expert from the Jie family came to Yang Shi with an iron-spined wolf, only to be easily defeated by an old beggar at the 7th level of key refining and given to Yang Shi as a gift. Later, Yang Shi had Liao Xiao use the treasure pavilion to keep an eye on the Jie family and see how they reacted. After that, there was no further news, and Yang Genshuo forgot about it. 2 years had passed since the samples of compressed biscuits made from spirit wheat were produced. Now, the third freelance cultivator market was about to be held in the cultivation world. Yang Genshuo returned to his room and asked Yang Shi about this matter. The Jie family suffered 2 defeats in Qingxi County. What was their reaction afterward? Yang Shi replied, "Last year, Manager Liao asked someone in Yulong County to inquire. The Jie family has already declared that they will no longer participate in the fasting biscuit business, and that the matter is over." The crisis was over? No. The Jie family's style was not what a benevolent family should be like. A family that sends people to kill and rob for anything good. Do you expect them to let go of their hatred? Dream on. They definitely have no good intentions. Yang Shi, what do you think? Yang Shi calmly replied, "I've already arranged for the beggars' clan brothers to beg in the towns near the Jie family's green bamboo forest. The green bamboo forest has an illusionary array that ordinary people can't enter at all, so they can't find out what's inside. But they heard from passing rogue cultivators that the Jie family's array has become even more secure. In addition, Manager Liao has voluntarily transferred to the Jade Dragon County headquarters this year to gather information for us." Yang Genshuo nodded. It seemed that Yang Shi thought the same as him, not believing that the 2 families who had a feud could shake hands and make peace. It was just that the Yang family was in the shadows, while the Jie family was in the open. The other side didn't know their strength and personnel composition, and after all the key refining stage cultivators disappeared, they dared not act rashly. But as long as the Yang family was still in Qingxi County, sooner or later the Jie family would find out. Is Liao Xiao reliable? Last year, I gave him 5 decks of 3 Kingdoms kill cards, and he sold them for 40 low-grade spirit stones. Before he went to Yulong County, he entrusted his wife and children to my care. Yang Genshuo nodded. Liao Xiao was a smart man. He knew to cling tightly to Yang Shi's coattails. As long as he didn't reveal anything, the Jie family wouldn't know that Yang Shi was selling beggar cakes for a short time. The Zhepin Pavilion still had some influence in Yulong County, and the Jie family wouldn't dare to directly and forcefully take down a mere mortal shopkeeper. The cultivators of the Donai dynasty in Yulong County wouldn't forgive them, and many cultivators who still needed this Zhepin Pavilion to conduct transactions would also lend a hand. Although the Jie family was the #1 spiritual plant family in the Donai dynasty, they had a major weakness: they didn't have any foundation establishment experts. Otherwise, they could have simply suppressed everything, and the Donai dynasty would have had to turn a blind eye. This was the information Liao Xiao provided after his investigation in Yulong County. But now the problem is, my spiritual fasting cakes are ready. How should I sell them? If Yang Shi sells them himself, it's like openly telling the Jie family, "I killed your retainer and that key refining cultivator, come and get your revenge." This time, the old beggar at the 7th level of key refining wasn't there. This is troublesome. Yang Genshuo sat in his room, pondering the problem of selling the fasting cakes. After much thought, he could only come up with 2 solutions. One is to sell them directly to the headquarters of the Jade Dragon County Treasure Pavilion and let them sell them. The Jie family wouldn't dare to rob them directly, but the price would definitely be cheaper, since the Treasure Pavilion has to take risks and still make its own profit. The second is to sell them elsewhere. The price would definitely be the highest for first-hand goods, and it would also confuse the Jie family, making them think that the person who made the fasting cakes had already left Qingxi County. But the problem is, changing locations is very dangerous. What might we encounter on the road? Will we be murdered and robbed in other scattered cultivator markets? The Yang family can't take that risk right now. Yang Genshuo felt that only the first method seemed suitable at the moment. Yang Genshuo posed this question to Yang Shi. Yang Shi cautiously said, "Ancestor, even the headquarters of the Treasure Pavilion isn't entirely trustworthy." Yang Genshuo frowned. Indeed, he had subconsciously linked Liao Xiao with the Treasure Pavilion, but in reality, while Liao Xiao could keep secrets, the headquarters of the Treasure Pavilion might not be without greedy individuals. During this year's sacrifice, first bestow the samples from the Red Maple Food Factory upon Yang Shi. Anyway, These things can be stored for a long time. We can sell them when a good opportunity arises. If the fasting cakes are of good quality, the 1,000 jin of spirit wheat offered this year should also be processed and produced. Store it at my home first. Yang Shi didn't sell any grain at the market last year because Yang Genshuo took away the yield from 2 mu of spirit wheat. He, Zheng Xiaobei, and Hu Zi ate the remaining 2 mu of land. This was only because Yang Xiaobei cultivated the spring wood longevity technique, which was beneficial to the growth of spirit plants, increasing the yield by about 100 jin per mu. Otherwise, with 1,000 jin offered, there wouldn't have been enough for them to eat. 5 years and 275 days later, Bai Heiyu of the Xuanxi sect arrived on time and sincerely invited all the rogue cultivators to participate in the third Demon Lord tournament. Qingxi market has become very orderly thanks to the presence of the Xuanxi sect disciple. For 2 consecutive years, there have been no serious incidents of murder and robbery. Yang Shi's guarantee has worked, and he enjoys high prestige among the rogue cultivators. 5 years and 280 days later, Yang Shi held a 100-day celebration for little Yang Fu, inviting the entire county. Yang Fu can already call out dad and mom, shocking the rogue cultivators who hailed the child as a prodigy. Bai Heiyu observed the abundant spiritual light above the child's head and predicted that this child was exceptionally talented. As long as he didn't perish, he would surely achieve great things. He gifted him a protective jade pendant. 5 years and 300 days later, Qingxi market opened. Due to the increase in counterfeit 3 Kingdoms kill cards, Yang Shi's scarcity marketing strategy failed. Genuine 3 Kingdoms kill cards could no longer fetch a good price this year, yielding only 14 low-grade spirit stones. This year, the Yang family's spirit stone income was quite low, failing to increase their assets. After 5 years and 304 days, the Qingxi market ended. Before leaving, Bai Heiyu found Yang Shi and said that his senior sister, Muran Ziyan, had asked him to bring 3 talismans. After giving them to Yang Shi, he would know what to do. Yang Shi presented a dessert gift bag consisting of candy, chocolate, and milk tea powder. Bai Heiyu was about to take it back to his post when Yang Shi stopped him. Senior brother Bai, I have a question, please. Yang Xing, speak freely. I've noticed that the Xuanxi sect disciples don't seem to care much about the stalls in this rogue cultivator market. Why is that? Ha. Even the outer disciples of my Xuanxi sect don't care about the items of these rogue cultivators. We inner disciples certainly won't waste our time. We'd rather find someone to play a few exciting rounds of demonic path killing. Then may I ask, Senior brother Bai, where do you usually trade these cultivation supplies? Chapter 39 Xuanxi sect's spiritual food supply family. Bai Heiyu held Yang Shi in high regard. Besides the demonic killing, he also saw unique charm in Yang Shi. A mere mortal had managed to become the organizer of the new rogue cultivator market through his own means, earning the respect of countless rogue cultivators. Even many martial arts grandmasters couldn't achieve this, because cultivators inherently look down on martial artists. Moreover, he could vaguely sense that Yang Shi's son possessed high talent and was likely to achieve great things in the future. Cultivation was a long journey, and cultivating good karma was essential. Therefore, he gifted the child a protective magic artifact. If it could save the child's life in a critical moment, it would yield a good result that might help him in the future. Therefore, when Yang Shi inquired about the transaction, he didn't feel it was abrupt. My Xuanxi sect disciples don't need to trade supplies like this. There's a place within the sect called Xuanbao Town, where everything from grains, fruits, and beast tools to pills, talismans, and formations, all the necessities for cultivation, are readily available. We can buy whatever we need anytime. By the way, we can also sell any unused spiritual items to Xuanbao Town, and they'll be converted into spirit stones. Bai Heiyu spoke with great pride. In his eyes, this market was just a bunch of poor cultivators setting up stalls, no different in essence from the beggars outside the tea house that Yang Shi saw. This is so convenient. But how does the Xuanxi sect obtain such abundant supplies? Enough to supply so many disciples. My Xuanxi sect governs all the spiritual fields of the entire Danai dynasty, supplying hundreds of cultivation families. We have everything: spiritual plants, spiritual mines, spiritual food, spiritual wine, beast taming, all the arts of cultivation. With countless disciples exploring outside, why worry about lacking cultivation supplies? Bai Heiyu's face was full of confidence. I see. I've learned something, Yang Shi gasped, sensing the immense power of the Xuanxi sect emanating from Xuanbao Town. a super sect that controls the entire dynasty's cultivation resources. Yang Genshuo also reassessed the strength of the Yang Shi sect. It was terrifyingly strong. He had to maintain a good relationship with the Yang Shi sect and preserve the reputation of the Yang Shi sect, at least within the territory of the Dynai dynasty. Anyone who wanted to touch the Yang family would have to consider the Yang Shi sect's reputation. This was a powerful force in disguise. Brother Yang, why did you suddenly ask about this? Is there some treasure you need me to purchase for you? Since we're friends, please speak freely. I do have something I'd like to ask senior brother Bai, but it's not about buying treasures, it's about selling. Oh? What is it? If it's just ordinary items, Zuanbao Town won't accept them. A new kind of spiritual food. It's being prepared, and you'll see it when senior brother Bai comes next year. Good. If it's a valuable new spiritual food, I can recommend your Yang family as a spiritual food supplier for the Zuanshi sect's immortal race. I can also complete tasks within the sect and earn some spirit stones. Thank you, senior brother Bai. See you next year. After the Qingxi market ended, Yang Shi found a new way to sell his bigu cakes. Clap clap clap. Yang Genshuo couldn't help but applaud Yang Shi. This kid's good. Doing business directly with the Zuanshi sect is much more reliable. After all, it's the only major immortal cultivation sect in the Dynai dynasty. If the Yang family could become a spiritual food supplier for the Zuanshi sect and receive the protection, then they wouldn't have to fear the Jie family. It's a pity I can only give him my fasting cakes during this year's ancestral worship ceremony. Thinking this, Yang Genshuo received a call from Su Menqi. Old classmate, I brought your sample. I don't know where you live, could you come pick me up? Okay, Yang Genshuo had been waiting for this. The ancestral worship ceremony was only a few hours away. He hadn't slowed down, the Yang family's situation was relatively stable, slowly developing, and he basically didn't need to intervene. He'd go out for a meal and come back just in time for the ceremony. Yang Genshuo had just changed his clothes when there was a rapid knock at the door. Hey, did you find my house? When he opened the door, it was the weak-willed young master Zhao Xianxi, who immediately grabbed Yang Genshuo's hand. Godfather. It's so effective. I've never been this strong before. It seems it's been like this for a long time. No wonder you're so weak. Zhao Xianxi wasn't old, but his sexual experience was quite extensive. No wonder he was like this at such a young age. This was probably the troubles of a rich second generation. Yang Genshuo curled his lip, not envious at all. However, Zhao Xianxi's face wasn't as pale this time. His complexion had improved considerably, indicating the medicine was working. Godfather, I feel the effects of the medicine are wearing off, but my overall condition is much better than before. Please give me another pill, I beg you, I really can't stand without it. By the way, Godfather, I brought my family lawyer this time. He'll handle transferring the car to your name. Hello, Mr. Yang, the transfer documents are here. You just need to sign a few words, and I'll take care of the rest. Wearing gold-rimmed glasses and a suit, a seemingly refined but actually ruthless man, Yang Genshuo nodded. That was professional. The car isn't important. The main thing is I don't want to see such a fine young man like you becoming increasingly haggard. My family makes this medicine to prevent people from suffering from kidney deficiency. How could I stand by and watch someone die? Yang Genshuo signed the documents with genuine sincerity. Wait here, I'll go get you another, essence strengthening and vitality returning pill. Yang Genshuo returned to his study, retrieved a small cellophane bottle, and the young master Zhao immediately poured it out and swallowed it. A refreshing, herbal fragrance wafted out, making even the lawyer beside him realize the medicine's extraordinary nature. It was completely different from the pungent smell of traditional Chinese medicine. It's here. I'm feeling it. I'm going to take 10. Godfather, I'll come back another day. Go ahead, 1 pill a week, and you'll fully recover your abilities in a month. Even with a slight enhancement, this Bentley Bentayga was enough to cover his medicine costs. Yang Genshuo currently had 106 bottles of sperm strengthening and vitality returning pills, which were actually made from several herbs used in the cultivation world to strengthen kidney energy, and could be bought with silver. The Yang family wasn't short of money, he could have as much as he wanted. Farewell. Godfather, Zhao Xianxi sped away in his Porsche. Yang Genshuo watched the sports car's dashing appearance for a long time, and couldn't help but sigh. It really looks like the Xiaomi SU7, young people should be like young Master Zhao, just buy a Porsche and drive it around. There's no need to insist on a Xiaomi SU7 just for appearances. By the way, what was I thinking back then? Damn, Sumenki, whoosh. The engine roared out of the yard, picking up Sumenki, who was guarding a large box of samples, on the road next to the subway entrance. Exquisite light makeup, a face like a peach blossom, a voluptuous figure. Passing cars couldn't help but slow down for a second glance. Sorry I'm late, something just held me up. Although Yang Genshuo was half an hour late, Sumenki still smiled broadly after getting into the Bentley. It's nothing, I just guessed you had an emergency. It won't be long. Where should we eat? Yang Genshuo thought for a moment. There's a pretty good Xianshu Maladang restaurant up ahead. How did you know I've been craving this for so long? Let's go quickly, I'm starving, because it's close by. After eating I can go home and check on the progress of the cultivation world. Yang Genshuo is now restless if he doesn't check it for a while, feeling like ants are crawling all over his body, and even starting to feel anxious, afraid that Yang Shi will miss some opportunity while he's not around. They parked the Bentley in front of the Maladang restaurant, and the owner insisted on personally showing off his cooking skills to Yang Genshuo. Sumenki recalled the few interactions they had during their university years, and they had endless topics to talk about. She also said that she hadn't liked anyone she met over the years, except for herself. She became emotional and burst into tears. After Yang Genshuo finished eating, he said that he had left in a hurry today and didn't bring his phone with him. He would treat her next time. Take a taxi home later. I have some things to take care of at home. I'm off, old classmate. Yang Genshuo drove off, leaving Sumenki stunned. Going home to eat some fasting cakes. The effectiveness of these fasting cakes determines how many spirit stones he can sell them for. There will be more later. Chapter 43 years later. The new compressed biscuits were still sold in 200 grams bags, and as per Yang Genshuo's request, nothing was printed except for the name. Using 50 gin of spirit wheat and other ingredients, a total of 150 bags of the new compressed biscuits were made. Yang Genshuo opened a bag. From the outside, it looked no different from the old compressed biscuits. But the aroma of wheat was stronger. Let me have a bite. After a few chews, a rich wheat aroma exploded in his mouth. He gulped down several mouthfuls of water, and then his highly digestive stomach began to work. There was a gas. Such a clear feeling. Is this spiritual energy? Yang Genshuo didn't feel any gas when eating spirit rice, but after biting into a small piece of compressed biscuit, he did. After a moment, Yang Genshuo concluded, this energy density is very high. I just ate 70% full from spicy hot pot, and now I feel completely stuffed. Over the next 2 hours, Yang Genshuo took a dose of blood-nourishing and ki-boosting powder, and awkwardly practiced a traceless sword technique with a tree branch. His stomach still felt very full. It's done. This new type of compressed biscuit made from spirit wheat not only increases spiritual power after consumption, but also significantly improves satiety. If before, one compressed biscuit could keep me from getting hungry for a day without working, now one can last at least 2 days. Even a grade 1 bigu pill can only last 3 days. At this moment, time in the game was also accelerating, and it was time for the ancestral worship ceremony. Your descendant Yang Shi has successfully completed this year's ancestral worship ceremony. Incense value +10. You have received offerings from members of the Yang family. 50 gin of spirit rice. Do you wish to bestow rewards upon the descendants of the Yang family? Yang Genshuo bestowed the remaining 149 packs of bigu biscuits as rewards. Yang Shi was overjoyed after learning their purpose. Thank you, ancestor. I will definitely sell these bigu biscuits for a good price. Do your best. Yang Genshuo had just done the math. 50 gin of spirit wheat could make 150 packs of bigu biscuits. That means each gin of spirit wheat could make 3 packs of bigu biscuits. 20 caddies of spirit wheat only sells for 1 low-grade spirit stone, enough to make 60 bags of fasting cakes. Even if the price were to be 2 or 3 bags for 1 low-grade spirit stone, it would still be a profit margin of several dozen times. As long as this stuff can be sold, it's a bloodbath. The Yang family will never lack spirit stones again. This is really going to be a huge success. With spirit stones, Yang Shi can buy a lot of good things in the loose cultivator market. Baihe doesn't care, but the Yang family still needs them very much right now. Daddy looking at the child in the courtyard calling out to Yang Shi in a daze, Yang Genshuo's heart softened. Yang Fu, this child, is really smart. He could speak at 100 days old, truly a prodigy. It's a pity he's a fallen prodigy. Damn that broken talent. I wonder who he inherited it from. After a moment's thought, Yang Genshuo cursed. Damn it, laughing and crying, it's probably Yang Shi's Dao talent that influenced this child. Look at Zhang Xiaobei's talent, it evolved into the heaven level, innate wisdom root, in this child. In the game, besides managing 4 acres of spirit fields and 1 spirit tree, the Yang family didn't have much else to do. Yang Shi and Hu Zi practiced martial arts, while Zhang Xiaobei vigorously cast spells, alternating between spirit rain technique and growth of all things, and occasionally using fertile soil technique. Little Yang Fu was cared for by his nanny during the day and slept with Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei at night, though for some reason there was always a whistling sound coming from under the covers. Little Fire played with Zhang Xiaobei every day, eating rock berries, and its cultivation level was steadily improving. Unfortunately, the Iron Spine Wolf's cultivation level hadn't progressed, and its strength had stagnated. It was rather lazy, only eating some meat and then lounging in the sun outside the tea house. Yang Shi didn't know why and planned to ask a senior spirit beast keeper when the market opened this year. With nothing happening around them, Yang Shi, focused on raising little Yang Fu, avoided many risky decisions, even regarding the Xiong family. The entire family entered a peaceful state of development, quietly awaiting the opening of the market. Yang Genshuo had been looking at the cards for a month, and he was incredibly bored. There wasn't a single character card in the entire Qingxi County that he hadn't seen. He even saved up the occasional incense sticks he obtained, planning to accumulate 200 to bestow upon Zhang Xiaobei's second child. Perfect. Tomorrow I'll send the remaining 1,000 jin of spirit wheat to the Hongfeng food factory for processing, but Yang Genshuo frowned. I need some cash. The money for starting the machine last time was borrowed from Dao Yi, and the spicy hot pot was paid for by Sumenki. Damn it, I haven't heard from Dao Yi these past few days, like he's dead. He made a phone call, and Dao Yi said the experiment was at a critical moment and hung up. Dao Yi wasn't at the Taoist temple, nor was he begging him to go to the club. He must be engrossed in his research. It had been like this for years. The current yield of the 4 mu of spirit fields is too low. Even with Zhang Xiaobei's hard work, the average yield is only about 500 jin of spirit food per mu. We still need to improve the rice varieties. He trusted Dao Yi's abilities and was certain he wouldn't disappoint him. Need to make some money, maybe sell some kidney medicine. This isn't something you can just sell and expect buyers to come along. Anyone who's worked in northern Myanmar knows how difficult it is to build trust between people. I'll have to ask young Master Zhao for a favor. He wasn't asking young Master Zhao for more money. After all, the Bentley in the yard had already covered his medicine costs. Yang Genshuo's business philosophy was based on integrity. But young Master Zhao's circle must have people who need it too. Yang Genshuo called and said he planned to sell a few of his family's heirloom, sperm strengthening and vitality returning pills, for cash. Young Master Zhao didn't hesitate and immediately sent him his father's phone number. He needs it more than I do. Godfather, you should have said you had more medicine. I was so scared I didn't dare tell him, afraid he'd be jealous of my virility. Good heavens, the Zhao family's traditions are truly inherited. Sigh. It's mainly because I have too much money. But I just started dating a few girlfriends, and my card is overdrawn. I'll have the old man give you some gold coins right away. Awesome. Yang Genshuo found it quite interesting to know such a peculiar rich second generation like Zhao Xianxi. Just as Yang Genshuo called Zhao Dalan, a trembling voice came from the other end. Miracle doctor. Is what my son said true? Oh, if he told you about the sperm strengthening and vitality returning pill, a kidney tonifying medicine, then it probably is. I knew some things in novels were true. There really are miracle doctors like you hidden in plain sight. You don't know, I've been looking for you for years. My medicine sells for 500,000 per pill, 4 pills for a course of treatment, which can basically cure kidney deficiency, but it's just a tonic, and it can only be taken from me. Let me make that clear first. Understood? How can I let someone else take the formula of a family of miracle doctors? I'm already on the plane. You're quite efficient. Zhao Dalan didn't say it, but Yang Genshuo knew it was a private jet. Damn these rich bastards. Do they have flight attendants like in the movies who provide personal service on the private jets? Damn it, I'll get one someday. He did a quick online search for the Zhao Group, a Fortune 500 company spanning multiple fields, and Zhao Dalan was a figure who ranked high on China's rich list. But upon seeing him, this 50-year-old man at the peak of his career, a man even the leaders of Shiman City had to treat with great respect. With his imposing, square face, jogged into the courtyard, tightly grasped Yang Genshuo's hand, and showed utmost respect. I don't know what you young people like, so I had my assistant buy some digital technology products. Doctor, keep what you like, and throw away what you don't. Behind him, several bodyguards in suits and sunglasses carried large bags and small packages into the courtyard, filling almost half of it. Yang Genshuo glanced at them. DJI drones, a 4090 desktop computer, an LG monitor, a Sony camera, a PS5, VR equipment, and flagship phones from various brands, gifts that even seasoned tech enthusiasts couldn't find fault with. A quick calculation showed it must have cost hundreds of thousands. Mr. Zhao, you're too kind. These are all useless things. I'm glad you like them, Doctor. Yang Genshuo didn't refuse further. He just sensed that the Zhao father and son were no ordinary people. He didn't feel he had given himself away too much, but the other party seemed to already know he wasn't an ordinary person. And they were very certain, making an unusually decisive investment. He took out a sperm strengthening and vitality returning pill, and gave it to Zhao Dalin. After taking it, Zhao Dalin felt a surge of youthful energy, exclaiming how miraculous it was. Brother Yang is truly an extraordinary person. If you ever need anything from the Zhao family in the future, just let me know. I still have some influence in the country. Okay, I'll take another one next week. Yang Genshuo received 500,000 yuan and immediately called Su Menqi in the middle of the night to place an order, asking her to arrange for 1,000 jin of spiritual wheat to be transported to the Hongfeng food factory to be processed into fasting cakes. This time the quantity was large, and more ingredients needed to be purchased, so the price increased slightly, with a 40,000 yuan startup fee. If Yang Genshuo could keep the production line running continuously, the machine costs would decrease dramatically, but unfortunately, he could only do it in batches for now. Su Menqi was initially delighted to receive a call from Yang Genshuo late at night, thinking it was going to be some kind of nighttime activity. However, she ended up kicking her pink little feet in frustration under the covers. Yang Genshuo, looking at the numerous electronic gadgets in the yard, became interested. He bought himself a larger screen and a PS5. In the years since graduation, he'd been too busy with work to properly enjoy this dream from his youth. Now, he finally had some free time and played a few rounds of Horizon Zero Dawn, thoroughly enjoying himself. The next day, Lin Yu came to cook, carrying a small bag. Seeing the gifts scattered around the yard, she gasped in surprise. Take whatever you like, it's the boss's employee perk. Oh, although Lin Yu didn't understand why her boss bought so many things, she was happy to see them. She figured he must have made money again, meaning she could work for him forever. Ideally, for life. With a smile, Lin Yu pulled out a blender from the pile of electronics and skipped off to the kitchen to make soy milk and rice porridge for Yang Genshuo. Yang Genshuo felt a warmth in his heart. Time passed in a relaxed atmosphere. 3 days later, Dao Ye called. Brother Shuo. The first generation hybrid rice seed has been successfully cultivated. Chapter 41 600 Spirit Stones. Yang Genshuo visited Chengbo's lab again. This time, it was daytime, and Chengbo was noticeably more reserved. After putting protective gear on him and having him sign a few documents, Yang was led into the lab. What's wrong, Taoist master? Why are you so professional today? Can't you see all these colleagues outside? There are also several professors with joint projects. This thing you've prepared is so secretive, I have to be careful. Despite his seemingly carefree and uninhibited nature, Changbo was very meticulous and secretive in his field of expertise. Come, let me show you this first-generation hybrid rice. To be honest, I didn't expect it to be done so quickly, less than 10 days in total. The main reason is that the original cultivation soil you brought back is amazing, the growth rate is very fast, it had to be amazing. Before taking the spiritual soil, he had specially sent down spiritual rain to thoroughly water it, reaching a spiritual energy concentration of 2 points. Yang Genshuo could see that the hybrid rice seeds in the small petri dishes had already sprouted tender shoots, displaying their vigorous vitality. Good, 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 as expected of Taoist master. What are the characteristics of this first-generation hybrid rice? Chengbo touched the bridge of his nose. I've hybridized this batch of seeds with excellent, high-yield, fertile rice seeds. Theoretically, the yield should at least double. When tending to this first-generation hybrid rice, The fertilization needs to be about 50% more than before to prevent soil nutrient loss, otherwise, the land will be ruined after 2 years. Yang Genshuo took a small bag of seeds. Okay, I understand. I'll take it back and try it. Could you also hybridize that new wheat seed with a high-yield variety? Cheng Bo shook his head helplessly. I'll do my best, but our potential in hybrid wheat isn't as high as in hybrid rice. You should be prepared. By the way, if it's convenient, it would be best if I could go and record the planting, growth, and harvest data in the field next year. It would be helpful for improving the second-generation rice. Yang Genshuo, it might not be convenient, but I'll tell you the specific performance. 1 day in reality is equivalent to a year in the game, from sowing to harvest. Alright then, I'll work overtime tonight when no one's in the lab, working on the hybrid wheat cultivation. Oh, and could you get me some more soil? I've observed a special radiation slowly dissipating. No problem. Yang Genshuo admired Dao Yi's professionalism the most, but he frowned when he looked at the lab environment. The confidentiality level is too low. And there are other projects and other colleagues involved. It would be great to have our own lab. This thought only lingered in his mind. Yang Genshuo didn't voice it yet. One must take things one step at a time. He couldn't directly make such a boundless request to his brother right now. Back home, Yang Genshuo looked at the scene in the cultivation world. 3 days here pass in the blink of an eye, but it's been 3 years in the game, not to say that everything has changed drastically. Overall, the Yang family had been in a period of stable development these past few years. Yang Genshuo reviewed the major events that had occurred in the past 3 years. 7th year, Yang Shi broke through to the 9th level of body tempering. His ki was abundant. Zhang Xiaobei broke through to the 5th level of fetal breathing. When the Qingxi market opened, Yang Shi entrusted Bai Heiyu to take away 120 bags of bigu cakes, inquiring about becoming a spiritual food supplier for Zuanbao town. He offered 1,000 jin of spiritual wheat and received several exquisite sweets as a reward. In the 8th year, Bai Heiyu brought good news. After tasting the product, Zuanbao town was willing to try including bigu cakes in their product list, offering a supply price of 5 bags for 1 spirit stone. After negotiation, the two parties agreed to purchase 3,000 bags at the beginning of next year. He received 40 low-grade spirit stones, which, guided by the ancestor, he exchanged for 800 jin of spiritual wheat at the market. He offered 1,800 jin of spiritual wheat and received 3,000 bags of bigu cakes as a reward. In the 9th year, Hu Zi's small talent, great achievement came into play, resulting in rapid growth, immense strength, and a breakthrough to the 9th level of body tempering, his strength approaching that of Yang Shi. Zhang Xiaobei broke through to the 6th level of fetal breathing. The spirit beast Xiaohu also broke through to the 6th level of fetal breathing. When Bai He returned, he exchanged 600 low-grade spirit stones for 3,000 packs of fasting cakes from the Yang family. Yang Shi gave him a red envelope containing 100 low-grade spirit stones, which Bai Heiyu politely declined, saying he didn't need the spirit stones. Received 600 low-grade spirit stones. Over the past 3 years, the overall strength of the Yang family members has steadily increased, and they have successfully supplied fasting cakes to the Xuanxi sect, earning their first pot of gold. Yang Genshuo has also reached a long-term agreement with the Hongfeng food factory, and the production line is running daily, with fresh fasting cakes being delivered every day. Now, it's almost the end of the Qingxi market. Yang Genshuo manifests. Buy all the spirit wheat in the rogue cultivator market. Currently, the production of fasting cakes is still too low. The Hongfeng food factory's production line capacity still has a large gap, and supplying 3,000 packs of fasting cakes a year is far from enough for such a large sect as the Xuanxi sect. As long as they accept this product, the annual order volume will increase tenfold without any problem. After all, this stuff is cheap and filling rations for cultivators, a high-frequency consumable. Especially after Bai Heiyu's words this year, Yang Genshuo was even more convinced that this product had great potential. These bigu cakes aren't just for those in seclusion, they're even more important for us inner disciples who frequently go out on missions. We're away for months, facing all sorts of environments, so having a ready-to-eat spiritual meal is extremely important. A bigu pill sells for 2 low-grade spirit stones, and a single mission can cost dozens of spirit stones. Many less avid disciples choose to cook for themselves in the wild, emergency rations for wilderness exploration. This market is much larger than seclusion rations. Once it gains market acceptance, orders will flow in endlessly. Now, just go all out with production. Even if it doesn't sell immediately, it can be stored for several years without spoiling, enough to satisfy any demand. Yang Shi was ordered to go on a buying spree, but unfortunately, he didn't spend all 600 low-grade spirit stones. After sweeping through the spirit wheat from over 500 scattered cultivator stalls, he only collected less than 2,000 jin. He only spent 100 low-grade spirit stones. That's still not enough, but the lives of rogue cultivators are inherently unstable. Very few have their own spirit fields. Even if they do planned, they only keep enough for their own consumption before selling a portion, resulting in very small quantities. Including the approximately 1,000 jin of spirit wheat I produced this year, that's only 3,000 jin in total, enough to make 9,000 bags of fasting cakes. Today, with the hybrid spirit rice seeds, I can reduce the planting of spirit rice by 1 mu and switch to spirit wheat, which will increase the spirit wheat yield by about 500 jin next year. Buying from rogue cultivators is still too little. I still need to cultivate more spirit fields myself. Zheng Xiaobei's strength has broken through to the 6th level of the fetal breathing stage, and managing 4 mu of spirit fields is already more than enough. Besides the spirit fields, Yang Genshuo has another question that puzzles him. Why hasn't Zheng Xiaobei's belly shown any signs of pregnancy in 3 years? He checks on her occasionally, quite frequently. Moreover, with the support of modern science, Yang Shi always strikes precisely during her fertile period. Strange. Could the legendary rule be true? The best way to prevent pregnancy is preparing for conception, but there was no use in Yang Genshuo's haste. He could only let nature take its course. Little Yang Fu, 3 years old, had already begun reading and writing. Exceptionally intelligent, he was the darling of the entire Yang family. After finishing his shopping spree, Yang Shi, while wandering through the market, unexpectedly discovered a rare second-grade pill, the Dragon Tiger Golden Pill. Another chapter coming soon. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42 Fat and Thin Demonic Cultivators. Cultivators rarely craft body-tempering pills, making this Dragon Tiger Golden Pill extremely rare. This was the first time Yang Shi had seen it in the market in recent years. After consumption, its pure medicinal power nourishes the body and stimulates physical potential, significantly increasing physical strength. Yang Shi knew this because his master, Liu Wuhan, had once consumed one, resulting in a dramatic increase in strength. Few innate grandmasters of the same realm could fight him to a standstill. This second-grade pill cost 115 low-grade spirit stones. While Yang Shi hesitated, Yang Genshuo couldn't stand it any longer and directly manifested his power. Once the Bigu cake production line was running at full capacity, the Yang family wouldn't lack these 115 low-grade spirit stones. After purchasing it, Yang Shi consumed it at the Yang family manner, and his body-tempering progress, accumulated over 2 years, began to skyrocket. Dragon and tiger patterns appeared on his skin, his muscles bulged, and his aura surged continuously. With each breath, it was like the roar of a dragon and the howl of a tiger. Dust swirled around him, propelled by this aura. Enlighten your mind. Yang Shi maintained a clear head, using his inner energy to guide this immense power to transform his body and rapidly digest a vast amount of blood energy and spiritual power. Huzi watched Yang Shi with repeated exclamations of amazement. Such a powerful aura. Is Brother Shi finally about to advance? Yang Shi had been at the 9th level of body tempering for 2 years, consuming spiritual rice and tonics, with Liu Wuhan's sparring guidance, without any delays. Now he had reached a critical point. The Dragon Tiger Golden Pill directly helped him break through all of this. Boom! A huge surge of energy erupted from Yang Shi's body, overturning the surrounding debris. His essence, energy, and spirit merged into one, his blood and ki surging throughout his body. Huzi glanced at him as if he were looking at a ferocious beast. 10th level of body tempering, essence and ki united, half-step into the innate realm. Yang Shi's martial arts realm breaks through, the Yang family's martial virtue prospers, incense offerings plus 100, Yang Shi's spiritual sense has improved, your field of vision range plus 50 meters, the fog of war around Yang Shi slowly dissipated, and Yang Genshuo's field of vision expanded by half. The distance had increased from 100 meters to 150 meters. Ah, that feels so good. Now I can see so much more and gather so much more information. Yang Genshuo now had two perspectives, one for Yang Shi and the other for Xiao Yang Fu. He could switch between them at any time and even bestow blessings upon them. This was very convenient for him, allowing him to easily keep track of the Yang family members' movements. However, he couldn't see Jiang Xiaobei and Hu Zi's perspectives, which Yang Genshuo guessed was because these two didn't have the Yang family's bloodline. Yang Shi, feeling his half-step Xiantian body, could vaguely sense the rustling of the wind and grass around him even with his eyes closed, and he could also sense Hu Zi's heartbeat and the slight panting of the black-clad men lying in the field sunbathing. So this is what a half-step Xiantian is like. He finally understood why his master could easily deal with him even with his eyes closed. Spiritual awareness. Once Yang Shi's spiritual awareness improves again, my vision will expand further. Yang Shi breaks through to the 10th level of body tempering. His talent laughing and crying plus plus has changed. Laughing and crying plus plus plus. Mortal. Work efficiency fluctuates greatly depending on mood. Happy mood plus 35%. Depressed mood minus 35%. Affected by the Minx and Ju. His talent has increased by another 5%. Will he be able to directly upgrade to Earth-level talent later? If his martial arts efficiency improves further, he might soon advance to Grandmaster of the Innate Realm. Yang Genshuo clicked his tongue twice, and another notification popped up. Yang Shi gained the talent Dragon Tiger Golden Pill after consuming the second-grade pill Dragon Tiger Might, Mortal, Dragon Tiger Might, Mortal, physical strength greatly increased, flying sword without a trace. Sensing something, Yang Shi took out his flowing water sword, twirled it, and forcefully hurled it at a large rock in the courtyard. Bang! Driven by immense force, the flowing water sword pierced through the large rock, shattering it into pieces. At first glance, it bears a resemblance to Bai Hei's sword control technique. Brother Shi, your strength is incredible. Hu Zi, having cultivated the Overlord's technique and possessing the small talent, big success talent, has always been stronger than Yang Shi. But Yang Shi, after consuming the Dragon Tiger Golden Pill, can cause such destructive power with a casual flick of his wrist, his strength completely overwhelming Hu Zi. Hu Zi even suspects that the leader of the three Miao thieves who invaded their tea house back then couldn't defeat the current Yang Shi. Spending money is amazing. 150 spirit stones for a breakthrough in realm and immortal level talent, what a steal. Cultivating immortality, it's all about resources. Wealth, companions, methods, and land. Wealth is paramount. Yang Genshuo felt as if he had grasped the essence of cultivation. Mortal tonics are for conditioning the body. Immortal pills can rapidly improve one's strength. Judging from this situation, as long as there are spirit stones, Yang Shi can keep sending me immortal pills. I'll eat my way to becoming a grandmaster. I'll eat. I'll try every pill I see. After Yang Shi washed up, a hooded figure entered through the door. Patriarch, the masked cultivators have gone to the Xiong residence again. This person was an informant Yang Shi had placed at the restaurant near the Xiong family's gate. Alright, I understand. The masked ones were the demonic cultivators from Blood Soul Valley. Every year during the market season, they would come to the Xiong residence and take away large quantities of spirit rice, spirit wheat, and spirit fruits. Yang Genshuo would keep a close eye on things every year at this time to prevent any accidents. After all, they were demonic cultivators, and it wouldn't be surprising if they did something. Fortunately, they had been relatively peaceful in recent years, only interacting with the Xiong residents. Speaking of the Xiong residents, Yang Genshuo thought of the vast expanse of spirit fields that seemed to stretch as far as the eye could see. If I could seize the spirit fields that originally belonged to my Yang family, that would be great. Unfortunately, not to mention the demonic cultivators from Blood Soul Valley, just the fact that there were key refining cultivators stationed at the Xiong residence was a huge challenge. The Yang family's overall strength was still slightly weak, not enough to take the initiative to attack. What exactly are the Xiong family plotting with the demonic cultivators? Yang Genshuo had been curious for a long time. Right. My field of vision has increased by 50 meters. Who knows what intelligence I might be able to gather. Today, he decided to have Yang Shi take him to spy on the area. Following Yang Genshuo's instructions, Yang Shi sat on the second floor of the tavern, gazing at the tall walls of the Xiong residence. He closed his eyes and carefully sensed the surroundings, seemingly able to detect some kind of danger lurking beneath the walls. This should be the defensive formation the ancestor spoke of. On Yang Genshuo's screen, A square beam of light framed the entire Xiang residence. Earth shield formation, level 1. After activation, it forms a continuous earth shield to resist external spiritual sense probing and attacks. Yang Genshuo didn't know the level of defense of this level 1 formation, but he could see the array's core, located in the flower bed of the Xiang residence. Destroying the core would disable the entire formation. Yang Shi sat on the second floor enjoying his wine, while Yang Genshuo explored the Xiang residence within a 150-meter radius. This time, his field of vision reached the Xiang residence's council hall. 2 key refining stage Blood Soul Valley demonic cultivators, one fat and one thin, were chatting with Xiang Paichi, the only key refining cultivator from the Xiang family. Did your journey, soul envoys, go smoothly? Did you encounter any Yang Shi sect disciples? I've heard they've been frequently traveling in groups to ambush demonic cultivators lately, the fat demonic cultivator said arrogantly. Hell, although the Yang Shi sect disciples are highly skilled, we can kill any number of ordinary key refining disciples who come. We just didn't want to expose your Xiang family, so we came in secret. We sneaked in from the Demon Wind Mountain Forest, the thin demonic cultivator said expressionlessly. The fat demonic cultivator glanced at the thin demonic cultivator slightly. Xiang Pichi was somewhat surprised. Oh? Demon Wind Forest. That place is not easy to traverse. There are demons, ferocious beasts, and it's said there are even black-skin cannibals, terrifying beyond measure. The fat demon cultivator snorted coldly. We 2 demon cultivators, with our soul summoning banner, can summon 100 ghosts to roam at night. Why would we be afraid of those petty scoundrels? There are no demons, we avoid the ferocious beasts, and the cannibals are uncivilized barbarians who spend their days tending their spirit fields, harvesting and basking in the sun. As long as we don't provoke them, they'll be fine. The thin demon cultivator remained expressionless. The fat demon cultivator's lips twitched slightly. But upon hearing the word spirit fields, Xiang Pichi's eyes lit up. Are there still spirit fields in the wild? Could you show me the way? My Xiang family is going to cultivate them, so we can offer more to Blood Soul Valley next year, the fat demonic cultivator said. Without our root, you'll either fall into a beast's trap and have your heart ripped out with a claw, or be captured by barbarians, roasted into meat sticks, and eaten. Are you sure you still want to go? Hell, here's a map. Anyway, we change the route every year. You can cultivate them when you have time. Those barbarians are weak. If you find them in the way, just kill them. The thin demonic cultivator remained expressionless. I've tolerated you for a long time. Why do you keep undermining me? Do you want to test if my soul summoning banner is a vengeful spirit? My soul summoning banner is just as powerful. The thin demonic cultivator didn't give the pretentious fat demonic cultivator any face. After a moment of tension, it looked like they were about to fight in the Xiang residence. Xiang Paichi was sweating profusely. If this large area of spirit fields was polluted by the demonic cultivator, he would face punishment from the family head. Wait. Please calm down, Your Excellencies. It's all my fault for not being hospitable enough. I have some spiritual food here, a fine item my nephew brought from the Yang Shi sect. It can be stored for many years. I'll give it to you to eat on your journey. The fat demonic cultivator immediately chuckled. What delicious food. The thin demonic cultivator didn't say much, calmly putting away the soul summoning banner. This is called beggar cake. After the handover of supplies, the 2 demonic cultivators left with a large convoy. Xiang Paichi, left in the Xiang residence, held the map in his hand, a smile on his face. Once I transport the remaining spiritual items back to Dene City, I'll take over the spiritual field. Click. Yang Genshuo found a good angle and took a picture of the route map with his superior phone. I was just worried you were hiding in the Xiang residence, afraid to come out. This spiritual field must belong to the Yang family. No one is better at farming than me. Chapter 43 Demon Wind Forest. Yang Genshuo saw this as a good opportunity. The Yang family was currently in dire need of spirit fields, and he needed to plant more spirit wheat to increase the production of beggar cakes. Developing a new spirit field would be excellent. Furthermore, Xiang Pichi, who guarded the Xiang residence, was only a key refining level 1 cultivator with 5 spiritual roots. His strength wasn't particularly high. With a calculated attack, he might be able to eliminate him. Yang Genshuo could see that Yang Shi would never forget the blood feud of the Yang family. Therefore, weakening the Xiang family's strength beforehand was crucial. Eliminating Xiong Pichi would reduce the number of key refining stage enemies when dealing with the Xiong family in the future. Yang Shi and Xiong Pichi had no personal grudges, but the Xiong family had to bear the burden of the family blood feud. They had feasted on the flesh and blood of the Yang family. Every bite of spirit rice they ate was sinful. He told Yang Shi about the Xiong family's situation. Now, use up all the remaining spirit stones in the house to ensure victory in this battle. Yes, Yang Shi currently had 398 low-grade spirit stones. Today was the last day of the market, and he was going to go on a shopping spree. Yang Shi walked to each stall, pointing at talismans, array stones, magic weapons, pills, and spirit beasts. This, and this, I'll take them all. The stall owners and rogue cultivators were astonished. What kind of buying spree was this? Yang Shi, a mere cultivator of the Xuanxi sect, was this rich? Wasn't he a martial artist? Why did he need so many things for cultivators? But under the powerful onslaught of spirit stones, all their words boiled down to one sentence: Boss Yang is so generous. In a short while, Yang Shi had swept through everything that could temporarily enhance his combat power. He spent 398 spirit stones in a flash. Upon noticing this, Bai Heiyu teased, "Brother Yang Shi, are you preparing for war? Even with spirit stones, you shouldn't be so extravagant. Once your wife reaches the great perfection of the fetal breathing stage, she'll need a large number of spirit stones to buy even a wisp of pure spiritual energy. My Yang family's foundation is still weak. These past years, thanks to the care of senior sister and senior brother Bai, those villains haven't dared to cause us trouble. But now that we have spirit stones, I'm afraid someone might have ulterior motives. Buying some consumables for self-defense is never a bad idea." "That's true. Brother Yang Shi, you're mindful of potential dangers even in times of peace. You have the demeanor of a family head." Looking at the jovial Bai Heiyu, Yang Shi frowned slightly. His ancestors' words still echoed in his mind. "You must never tell Bai Heiyu or the other Xuanxi sect members about your affairs with the Xiong family. Even if the Xiong family is colluding with the demonic sect, you shouldn't say it yourself. You can only wait for them to discover it slowly, otherwise, before the Xiong family falls, you'll be the first to die a violent death in the streets." Yang Shi understood the reason. One member of the Xiong family is a foundation establishment elder of the Xuanxi sect. With his protective talisman, Bai He dared not act rashly, let alone bring this news back to the Xuanxi sect to ask others for help. Before any Xuanxi sect disciples even arrived, that foundation establishment elder would likely have already annihilated the Yang family. Even if their collusion with the demonic sect were proven true, and the Xuanxi sect members were indeed impartial, the best-case scenario for the Yang family would be a one-for-one exchange with the Xiong family. This was clearly unacceptable. Unless that senior sister, Muran Ziyan, returned, using her foundation establishment power to crush the demonic cultivators, and then return to punish the Xiong family's foundation establishment elder. However, aside from having Bai Heiyu send a few talismans each year in exchange for some sweets, Muran Ziyan had no further contact with the Yang family. Yang Shi couldn't show any hostility towards the Xiong family now, otherwise all his years of development would be wasted. After the market closed, the rogue cultivators dispersed, and Bai Heiyu left Qingxi County. The county returned to its former state. Compared to 4 years ago, Qingxi County now sees more independent cultivators coming and going. Yang Shi spent 2 days preparing, planning to head to the Demon Wind Forest today. If the Tiger and Leopard Forest is a no-go zone for hunters, accessible only to high-level martial artists, then the Demon Wind Forest is a no-go zone for independent cultivators. Cultivators in the independent cultivator market are terrified of it. If a nascent soul stage cultivator accidentally stumbles into the Demon Wind Forest, 9 out of 10 will not return alive. Rumors say that the Demon Wind Forest is inhabited by demons, numerous ferocious beasts, and terrifying black-skinned cannibals. But where there is danger, there is treasure. The Demon Wind Forest is sparsely populated and teems with rare and precious materials, excellent for crafting pills and magical artifacts. If one has the strength to slay a spirit beast, its corpse is also a treasure trove. For example, the most important ingredient in the Dragon Tiger Golden Pill that Yang Shi consumed was the blood of a Dragon Tiger beast. Therefore, some daring key refining cultivators also search for treasures on the outskirts of the Demon Wind Forest. The map drawn by the skinny demon cultivator shows a hidden route on the outskirts of the Demon Wind Forest. The route to this place was close to the tiger and leopard forest, separated by a rushing river. Few wild animals pass through here. Let's go, let's set off. Yang Shi, a half-step-in-8 grandmaster, rode his newly purchased fetal-breathing spirit beast, Crimson Blood Horse. Zhang Xiaobei, at the 6th level of fetal breathing, rode the plump and strong Little Fire. Huzi, at the 9th level of body tempering, rode the Iron Spine Grey Wolf. The three knights set off from the Yang family manor. Daddy Mommy, where are you going? Can you take Xiao Fu with you? 3-year-old Yang Fu ran over from the yard, looking at the group with curiosity. In his memory, this was the first time he had seen his parents and uncle in such a grand procession. Yang Shi dismounted and touched Yang Fu's cheek. Daddy and Mommy are going to do something important. We'll be back when we're done. Listen to your nanny these next few days. If you encounter any big trouble, go to the ancestral hall to find the ancestors, understand, okay? Yang Fu tilted his head and looked at his parents, then didn't bother them anymore. He was only 3 years old, but naturally intelligent, already able to read. And his IQ was similar to that of a 6 or 7-year-old. Moreover, Yang Fu was always very steady and sensible. Yang Shi wasn't worried about Yang Fu at home, with the ancestor watching over him, and protective magical artifacts and talismans. Ordinary martial artists and cultivators posed no threat to him. The 3 people and 2 beasts followed the map, and indeed encountered no danger along the way. Yang Genshuo also adjusted his time to normal flow, constantly observing any movement within a 150-meter radius of Yang Shi, ready to issue a warning at any moment. Peace continued until they reached the bottom of the forest waterfall. Everyone, rest for a moment and eat something before continuing. After walking for half a day, they and the spirit beasts were hungry. At this moment, a golden finger appeared in the waterfall, pointing to a shadow in the water. Yang Shi narrowed his eyes and whispered, "Wait, there's something in the lake, Little White, look where my sword tip is pointing." He subtly drew his flowing water sword and aimed it at the shadow. Little White understood immediately. Entanglement technique, a long whip of green energy twisted and turned in the air like a snake, tightly binding the shadow in the water. Water nourishes wood. The green whip expanded continuously in the water, becoming even more resilient. Hiss, the creature in the water hissed, struggling and creating large waves. Flying sword without trace, Yang Shi swung his flowing water sword, plunging it straight into the entangled shadow in the water. Hiss hiss hiss, a large amount of blood gushed out of the water, and the shadow struggled even more fiercely. Snap! Tiger Cub lashed out with his whip, and the azure wolf rushed into the water, fiercely biting the creature. Soon, the lake was filled with blood. The azure wolf kept biting the creature until it was silent before dragging it out. There will be more. Chapter 44, Taking the Lead. Water Spirit Serpent, Water Type Spirit Beast, Lifespan 23/60, Realm 8th level of fetal breathing, Talents, Water Gun Technique, Concealment, a water serpent with its head bitten off lay on the ground. Not bad, this snake's skin is very tough. It can be used to make leather armor, and its spiritual meat can give us a good meal. Yang Shi chuckled and bowed to the sky. Thank you for your instructions, ancestor. Yang Genshuo and Yang Shi had worked together seamlessly for many years, and he knew exactly what Yang Genshuo meant with just a slight gesture. If the group hadn't noticed the water spirit serpent while resting and eating, they would have been ambushed and injured. Even if they had reacted, they would have been in a sorry state and had wasted a lot of defensive talismans. Under my god's eye view, evil spirits have nowhere to hide, Yang Genshuo said with a hint of pride. As Huzi was dissecting the water spirit serpent with a large knife, the iron spine wolf stood beside him, wagging its tail, its eyes revealing intense desire. This water snake was about the size of a small python, with plenty of meat. Tiger cut off a piece of spiritual meat and tossed it to the azure wolf. The azure wolf opened its mouth wide and ate it with gusto. A pale white spiritual light shone from its body, its fur became smoother, and its body visibly strengthened. Yang Shi thought for a moment and suddenly realized, the azure wolf needs to eat spiritual meat to increase its cultivation level. No wonder its strength hasn't changed much in the past few years. Let Little Fire have some too. Little Fire sniffed it and then walked away with a look of disgust. Water and fire don't mix. Little Fire, do you think its meat doesn't taste good? Little Fire rubbed against Zhang Xiaobei's clothes in a human-like way, indicating that its master understood it. Then the azure wolf will have it. The group rested on the spot, made a fire, roasted the water snake meat, and ate it, feeling warm all over. Yang Shi and Tiger's physical strength increased slightly, and after Zhang Xiaobei finished eating, her spiritual power increased significantly. She sat cross-legged and cultivated the spring wood longevity technique for a while before digesting it. 1 hour of cultivation here is equivalent to a week of my usual cultivation. Water nourishes wood. This water snake meat is very beneficial to my cultivation. Upon hearing this, Tiger stopped feeding the azure wolf. Ah. Then how about we take the rest back to eat? Zhang Xiaobei waved his hand. No need, brother Tiger. The spiritual power of this spirit beast is rapidly dissipating after death, and we have no way to preserve it. Eat as much as you can. Yang Shi nodded. Throw away what you can't finish, otherwise the smell of blood will attract other ferocious beasts. The iron spine azure wolf reluctantly stopped eating only when its belly was round and full. It hadn't eaten spirit meat for several years, and eating this made it want to cry. After a hearty meal, they threw the remaining spirit meat into the lake under the waterfall and left with a complete spirit snakeskin. Next, they had completely entered the demon wind forest. The thick trees blocked out most of the light, making the environment dark and gloomy. Although the two demonic cultivators claimed this route was safe, it was still within the demon wind forest, where spirit beasts were plentiful. They would occasionally encounter one or two, but Yang Shi avoided provoking any that didn't seem to be aggressive. It would be unwise to waste physical and spiritual energy in this unfamiliar environment. Thanks to Yang Genshuo's prior guidance, they were able to gain the upper hand in any unavoidable battles and suffered no damage. After cautiously advancing for 2 hours, they finally arrived at the spirit field the demonic cultivators had mentioned. The area seemed to have been pruned. The towering trees no longer blocked out the sun, allowing sunlight to filter through. At the very center of this sunlit area was a natural lake, surrounded by dense spirit trees. Beneath these trees were several houses, and smoke was rising from around them. Is there human habitation? Yang Shi and the others kept a distance of 150 meters, observing from afar. Yang Genshuo had already spotted Brother Ni in one of the houses. Huh? Isn't that Black Ghost? They even have a village here. Tiger felt his hand gripping the whip getting hot. He felt an urge to whip it. Is this the legendary black-skin cannibal? Yang Shi didn't know where the rumor came from, but it had terrified even a key refining stage cultivator. Yang Genshuo opened several of Niji's character cards and looked at them. Most of them shared a few common talents: cowardly bullying the weak, lazy, physically strong. Their overall strength was stronger than those working in the Yang family manor, but only by a limited margin. In any case, he didn't see a single innate grandmaster. Yang Genshuo felt that with Yang Shi wielding the flowing water sword, these black monsters would be no match for him. However, what surprised Yang Genshuo was that there was actually a young black monster with 4 spiritual roots among them. His intelligence was clearly much higher than that of his uncivilized barbarian compatriots. However, he hadn't cultivated and was at the body tempering stage like the other black monsters. After scouting the area and finding no threats beyond their capabilities, Yang Genshuo let Yang Shi do as he pleased. Our ancestors told us to subdue these black devils first. Tiger grinned maliciously. Then I'll have to treat them to my whip. Zhang Xiaobei couldn't bear it and said, I can't bear to whip these poor barbarians. At most, I'll use entanglement magic to bind them and let little fire spit flames to burn them. Xiaobei is still kind-hearted. Yang Shi sighed. For Yang Shi and Tiger, who had thoroughly studied 100 draws upon login, dealing with black devils was as simple as eating and drinking. The group rode their spirit beasts into the Black Devil tribe. These black devils howled and charged forward, extremely ferocious, seemingly used to fighting wild beasts. But after Yang Shi coldly killed 2, the wolf bit 1 to death, Little Fire roasted 3 until they were 3/4 cooked, and Tiger whipped 5 down, the entire black tribe calmed down. Their cowardly and bullying nature made them tremble. After a final high-pressure whipping, these 42 black devils temporarily submitted on the surface. As for their hearts, that would take time to heal. Yang Shi looked at the spiritual field that had so easily fallen into his hands, somewhat incredulous. Just like that? This must add up to about 5 or 6 acres of spiritual fields, right? Yang Genshuo, on the other hand, wasn't surprised. This was called information asymmetry. The Demon Wind Forest had a notorious reputation, and even rogue cultivators usually avoided it like the plague. Why would they think of coming here to look for uncultivated spiritual fields? On the contrary, these barbarians who had migrated from who knows where occupied a treasure trove. They leisurely ate spiritual fruits and hunted wild beasts every day, living a carefree life. If it weren't for the information from the fat and thin demon cultivators, they wouldn't have been able to acquire such a feng shui treasure land so easily. Yang Genshuo observed the entire spiritual field and discovered that the source was all from the central lake. The spiritual energy concentration was as high as 5 points. You should know that the spiritual fields in the tiger and leopard forest only had a spiritual energy concentration of 2 points. The area surrounding the lake was all spiritual fields, and the concentration decreased with distance, gradually decreasing from 3 points to 1 point. Now, these spiritual fields were covered with various fruit trees of different sizes. Zhang Xiaobei said with heartache, none of them have been cultivated. What a waste. Huzi, whip them a few times, make them waste nature's bounty. The black men, crack 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 crack. The capricious nature of the group made the black men even more obedient. Yang Shi, following the ancestors' instructions, found a young black man squatting with his head in his hands in the crowd. You, get up. From today onwards, you are my servant, and you will manage the entire tribe? Huh? Me. The young black man's eyes were clearly different from the others, cunning, but he obviously disliked the identity of a servant, his eyes filled with rejection and humiliation. That's right. As long as you help me manage the tribe well, I can teach you cultivation techniques. Master above, please accept Hash's bow. When he stood beside Yang Shi and turned to look at the tribesmen again, he revealed a haughty gaze. Ha, a bunch of muscle-bound, brainless black devils. Master, what should we do next? Farm. No, you must maintain your current lives and wait quietly. Wait for what? Wait for someone. Yang Shi took out a large number of array stones from his pack. Time flowed quickly, and 2 months passed in the blink of an eye. Xiang Pichi returned from Danei City, holding a map and beaming as he went out. The gatekeeper asked routinely, Lord Qi, where are you going? Do you need us to follow you? I'm just going for a stroll. No need to follow. Xiang Pichi sneered inwardly. This place is fine for me to know. The family doesn't need to know. Chapter 45. Is this your limit? Xiang Pichi rode his horse along the map's route. He encountered some spirit beasts along the way, but thanks to his key refining stage spiritual sense, he detected them in advance and eliminated them beforehand, arriving smoothly at the outskirts of the dark-skinned barbarian tribe without much delay. As expected, safe. There aren't any key refining stage beasts on this road. He swept his spiritual sense across the entire barbarian tribe. There was no threat whatsoever, and he even saw what he wanted most. It's a spirit lake. The lake water is rich in spiritual energy. Even mortals can irrigate their spiritual fields. Xiang Pichi was overjoyed. With a spirit lake water, he wouldn't need to cast a spirit rain spell at all. Mortals could simply fetch water from the lake to irrigate, and the effect would be even better than the spirit rain spell. It would save time and effort. Cultivators with spiritual roots were hard to find, but there were plenty of mortals willing to risk their lives for him. As for these uncivilized dark-skinned barbarians, he could kill them all and bury them in the ground as fertilizer. He raised his head, spurred his horse forward, and looked at these wary dark-skinned barbarians as if they were a swarm of ants. For a key refining stage cultivator, killing a body-tempering stage mortal is like slaughtering dogs. He raised his hand, and a wisp of earth-yellow spiritual energy appeared on it, like wearing a large spiritual energy glove. He gently squeezed his hand. Earth Golem, the stones and clods of earth on the ground wriggled and took shape, transforming into a robust earth golem over 3 meters tall, which walked towards the barbarian tribe. Bang! The earth golem punched away the nearest black man. This black man at the 5th level of body tempering was sent flying like a cannonball, crashing through a wooden house and hitting a tree before stopping, coughing up blood and unconscious. This earth golem's strength was actually as high as a half-step innate grandmaster. Moreover, its enormous size made it impervious to pain, extremely terrifying. Even more terrifying than one half-step innate earth golem was 3 earth golems. Xiang Pichi squeezed his hand again, and 2 more earth golems rose from the ground in succession. The 3 enormous earth golems pressed down on the tribe like bulldozers, their pressure extremely strong. It looked like a bloody massacre was about to begin. But the first earthen golem charging forward stepped on something. A burst of violent fire spiritual energy exploded beneath its feet. Boom! The violent impact blasted its left leg off, and the massive earthen golem collapsed to the ground, unable to move. Array stones. Xiang Pichi keenly noticed the array stones beneath the earthen golem's feet. How could these barbarians be in trouble? Xiang Pichi spurred his horse backward, but 5 array stones lit up behind him. 5 elements illusion array. Clouds of smoke appeared out of thin air, trapping Xiongpai in place. He lost his sight, and his spiritual sense was disrupted by the array. His spirit horse, startled, circled restlessly. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 large, earth-yellow spiritual energy palms slammed out, but they missed every one, instead snapping a thick tree in half. Such powerful force. We've been seriously injured by that palm strike. From a seemingly empty wooden house, Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei emerged wearing masks. The concealment array behind them slowly lost its spiritual power. His spiritual consciousness is currently disrupted by the formation, but it won't hold him for long. Attack quickly. Xiaobei, it's your turn. Xiaobei pulled out over 100 attack talismans from his bag, most of which were equivalent to a full-force attack from a high-level nascent soul cultivator. Watch me smash him to death. Wooden spear talisman. The talisman was activated by spiritual power, forming a green spear with surging wood elemental spiritual energy. This was a pure wood elemental attack spell, a skill that most wood elemental rogue cultivators knew. Its power was somewhat weaker than fireballs, fire arrows, and golden swords of the same level, but its brilliance lay in its ability to specifically counter earth elemental cultivators. Earth armor technique. Spiritual power enveloped the soil, forming a solid earth armor around Xiongpichi's body, making him appear much more imposing, somewhat resembling an earth puppet. Xiongpichi was not skilled in formations and had not yet been able to break through the maze set up by the multiple array stones, so he had to use his magic power to protect himself for the time being. How I, an earth elemental cultivator, excel at defense. How long can your illusionary array trap me? He realized that the person who set up the array here wasn't strong enough to confront him directly. Otherwise, they could have easily killed him with a single sword strike. Why go to all this trouble? Thud! A green spear pierced straight into his earth armor from the mist, creating a large hole, before being blocked by his protective spiritual power. It's a wood elemental cultivator. Although they counter me, what can a mere nascent soul cultivator do? Once my earth puppet breaks the array, boom, the 2 intact earth puppets outside were successively blasted into cripples by the array stones. Thud! 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 3 wooden spear techniques emerged from the mist, creating 3 more holes, shattering the earth armor. Xiongpai wiped a trickle of blood from the corner of his mouth, furious. Enough! Earth venerable divine arm, boom! 2 enormous earth elemental arms burst forth from the formation, viciously smashing 5 array stones into fragments, shattering the 5 elements maze formation instantly. Xiongpai stood rooted to the spot, his 2 massive, 3-meter-long earthen arms behind him swung like small mountains crashing down. Some hidden array stones on the ground were swept across by the 2 giant hands, the earth ripped away, exploding in midair. Xiongpai's face, contorted with rage, and the hideous earthen arms behind him looked terrifying. Those divine arms, formed from spiritual power and earth, were raised high, making Xiongpai appear like a god or demon. A bunch of ants, daring to ambush me, who are you? But facing the erupting key refining immortal, Yang Shi and his companions remained calm, as if they had expected it. Rotting wood poison powder. Zhang Xiaobei's 3 talismans ignited, shooting out a large amount of poison powder. Boom! The scattered green poison powder covered a vast area, leaving Xiongpai with no way to dodge to the left or right. He could only grit his teeth and charge forward. His cultivation technique, the Earth Venerable Spirit Art, excels at using the surrounding environment to defeat enemies but is not adept at long-range attacks. Wood-based poison magic completely counters his Earth Venerable Divine Arm. Even though its power is inferior, it still corrodes a layer of spiritual energy and earth from his arm, reducing its size. Zhang Xiaobei retreated while unleashing a series of wooden spear techniques. Talismans were thrown out like they were free. However, since most were talismans from the nascent soul stage, they posed little threat to Xiongpai. His divine arm swung, scattering the wooden spears in midair. These spells only continuously depleted his spiritual energy. However, a yellow gem appeared on Xiongpai's chest, emitting bursts of light, and pure earth spiritual energy rapidly flowed into his body, repairing the damage and depletion. So what if you have a lot of talismans? They're just clay chickens and earthen dogs. I'll see who gave you the audacity to ambush a key refining cultivator. His earth arm swung behind him, and he donned earth spiritual energy gauntlets. Clap clap clap. A surge of immense spiritual energy summoned 3 more earth golems. The 3 golems closed in alongside his main body. Zhang Xiaobei unleashed more talismans, but these only slowed him down and drained his spiritual energy. They couldn't inflict any real damage. Once the earth golems got close, they would completely lose the initiative. Seeing this, Yang Shi immediately threw out 3 array stones. Boom, boom, boom. The array stones struck the earth golems and exploded, shattering their chests and causing them to stagger. Clearly, these things were no match for the strength of those earthen arms. Spirit puppet fusion. Xiang Pichi's hands shone with a bright yellow light as earth spiritual energy flowed into the 3 damaged earth golems, as if thin threads of spiritual energy were connecting them. The 3 golems came together, their bodies pressed tightly together, forming a large lump of rock and earth. After some transformation on the ground, it grew into a golem giant over 4 meters tall. Roar! The earth golem's eyes glowed red, and it opened its ferocious maw, spitting out a large number of stones. Bang! 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 Yang Shi drew his sword, blocking Zhang Xiaobei's path and swiftly shattering the stones. Xiang Pai Kai's face was slightly pale. Supporting 2 earth elemental spells, typically used by key refining stage cultivators, was already his strongest state. If it weren't for the earth spirit stones constantly replenishing his earth elemental power, he wouldn't have been able to sustain it. However, seeing Zhang Xiaobei covered in talismans still made his scalp tingle. He had to finish this quickly. Otherwise, he would eventually be worn down by these talismans. Who brings hundreds of talismans to a duel? Aren't talismans free? But it didn't matter, the outcome was already decided when he used those 2 spells. A cruel smile appeared on his face, preparing to thoroughly torture these 2 ants later. Yang Shi looked at the 2 earth elemental spells before him and asked calmly, "Is this your limit?" Chapter 46 Because I have more spirit stones than you. What do you mean? Xiang Pai looked at the 2 unmoved low-level cultivators, and for some reason, a sudden panic gripped his heart. His spiritual sense jolted, and he looked up at the sky. On a huge tree, Hu Zi threw down 10 array stones connected end to end. Zhang Xiaobei's hands glowed white as he activated the array stones. Spirit binding array, buzz! The 10 array stones, carrying a massive spiritual pressure, descended from the sky, firmly enveloping Xiang Pai and his giant puppet. Boom! Xiang Pai Kai's 2 earthen arms fell limply to his sides, and the 3-in-1 giant earthen puppet also knelt on the ground, its eyes dimming after losing spiritual power support. You actually have a spirit binding array. Xiang Pai now felt every strand of spiritual power in his body was incredibly heavy, making it extremely difficult to control. Both of his spells, which required massive spiritual power, were rendered useless. Yang Shi's lips curled slightly. With the ancestor's reminder, he already knew all of Xiang Pai Kai's spells and naturally knew what his ultimate move was afraid of. It possesses immense power, is both offensive and defensive, and lasts a long time, but it is extremely energy intensive. Therefore, his most precious treasure is the Earth Spirit Stone on his chest, which can store twice his own Earth Spirit power and can be used at any time, just like his own spirit power. And the Spirit Suppressing Array bought with these 35 Spirit Stones was prepared for him. It can suppress a key refining stage cultivator for the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Now, his divine arm on his back has lost the support of sufficient spirit power and cannot move effectively, instead becoming Xiang Pai Kai's biggest burden. Who exactly are you? Why do you know so much about my technique? Xiang Pai felt like a naked man. Looking at Yang Shi approaching, he shouted, Xiang, consider myself to have made very few enemies. Who exactly are you? Can you explain why? Yang Shi sneered, still trying to stall for time? Tiger, kill. On the towering tree, Tiger jumped down, raising his broadsword and slashing at Xiang Pai whirlwind blade technique. As the broadsword was swung, a sharp blade wind was blown up, fiercely slashing at the immobile Xiang Pai bang. Xiang Pai decisively abandoned the divine arm behind his back, condensing a wisp of earth elemental energy in his left hand to form a shield and block Hu Zi's attack. Sparks flew from the point of impact. He tried to escape using the momentum. Xiaobei's fingers shifted, and a barrier of the spirit-suppressing array rose, preventing Xiang Pai from escaping and forcing him into a true 1v1 battle with Hu Zi. Level 8 Gale, Hu Zi directly used his ultimate move. The talent brought by the Overlord technique made his body muscles swell, and each strike brought a gale. The 8 gusts of wind combined, and this move swept towards Xiang Pai with the force of a tornado. If Xiang Pai hadn't been spirit suppressed, he could easily have neutralized this mortal sword technique with a single spell. Even an earth puppet could break through all spells with sheer force. But at this moment, most of Wu's spiritual energy was suppressed, and he had lost more than 90% of Wu's spiritual energy, leaving him only able to deal with it in a sorry state. Although the Earth Spirit Stone was also suppressed, it still continuously spewed out small wisps of Earth elemental energy to nourish Xiong Pai Chi Earth Armor technique. The simple yet effective spell protected Xiong Pai Kai's entire body, shielding him from the raging wind and blade energy. Xiong Pai Chi pulled a bone disc from his waist with his right hand. Clang! A burst of black light erupted from the disc, blasting Hu Zi away, who landed spitting out a mouthful of blood. A demonic artifact. On the bone disc, wisps of black souls struggled and coiled, their faint, agonizing screams audible. Unless facing a life-or-death crisis, Xiong Pai Chi had never used his demonic artifact. This bone disc was forged from the bones of a living cultivator. The souls of different cultivators were then refined and integrated into it to enhance its power. Extremely insidious. Every righteous cultivator had the right to kill it. Xiong Pai Chi cackled, "Since you've seen my trump card, then today you'll become a member of my bone disc." He was certain that this disc could protect him until the formation ended. Xiao Bai, destroy his demonic artifact. Xiao Bai nodded, pulling a red talisman from his robes. Intricate runes were drawn on it, completely different from the one he'd thrown out before. Xiong Pai Kai's face paled with horror the moment he saw it. No, heavenly thunder slash, boom. A massive red lightning blade cleaved from Zhang Xiao Bai's hand, its terrifying pressure sending chills down Xiong Pai Kai's spine. He barely managed to raise the bone disc above his head, the two colliding and bursting forth with dazzling light. Those wisps of black souls were purified in the lightning's glow, emitting cries of liberation. Snap! The red lightning blade vanished, the bone disc shattering into fragments. Xiong Pai Kai's hair was disheveled, his initial shock turning to terror. A high-level key refining talisman, and it was a lightning talisman, the most effective counter to demonic artifacts. He couldn't believe his opponent possessed something of this caliber. This single talisman alone was worth hundreds of spirit stones. Traceless sword technique. After breaking the magic weapon, Yang Shi rushed into the spirit sealing array, attacking from both sides with Hu Zi, leaving the defenseless Xiong Pai Chi battered and bruised. Xiong Pai Chi relied on the spiritual energy of the Earth Spirit Stone to prop up his earth armor, and swallowed 2 healing pills, struggling to hold on. Wooden spear technique. Xiao Bai flung talismans like they were free, and the continuous wooden spears shattered Xiong Pai Kai's earth armor. You can't kill me. The Xiong family won't let you go. Blood Soul Valley won't let you go. Xiong Pai Chi shouted loudly, his hair disheveled, his eyes filled with terror and fear. Wild goose across the sky, Yang Shi seized the opportunity, and his flowing water sword, like a nimble wild goose, drew a beautiful arc in the air, piercing Xiong Pai Kai's heart. Xiong Pai Chi clutched his chest and fell to the ground, his face full of resentment. Why? Yang Shi stepped on his bleeding body, his face ruthless. I have more spirit stones than you, Xiong Pai Chi, dead. Phew, finally I can breathe. Yang Genshuo watched the entire battle, unconsciously holding his breath for a long time, almost suffocating himself. Aside from the preparation phase, he hadn't intervened in the entire battle. Yang Shi led his team to successfully defeat Xiong Pai Chi, a key refining level 1 earth element cultivator. If Yang Genshuo had to summarize this battle, he would only have 8 words: steady and methodical, every step a deadly trap, from beginning to end. Every move Xiong Pai Chi made was within their expectations. Even the Iron Spine Wolf and Little Fire, which they had ambushed along Xiong Pai Kai's retreat route, didn't have time to act. If Xiong Pai Chi were to use any means to escape the spirit sealing array, these 2 spirit beasts would deliver a fatal blow on his escape route. The 3 people in the scene, including Yang Shi, also breathed a sigh of relief. Key refining cultivators are indeed difficult to kill. Even those at the first level of key refining are far more skilled than us. If it weren't for our ancestors' help, we would never have been able to kill Xiong Pai Chi. Yang Shi sighed. His ancestor had discovered Xiong Pai Kai's techniques and weaknesses, and they had purchased talismans and array stones specifically to suppress him. Luckily, we had the attack talismans given by senior sister Murin, otherwise all our preparations would have been in vain. Zhang Xiaobei unleashed the heavenly thunder slash talisman, destroying the demon weapon with a single strike, making him the coolest person there. Hu Zi sat on the ground, chuckling. I never thought I could actually kill an immortal. It's like a dream. He felt he could brag about this battle for the rest of his life. Meanwhile, the black ghosts huddled in the jungle returned trembling. They had witnessed the entire battle and were terrified. Now, they had no will to resist Yang Shi and the other two, only hoping to survive. The only black man with spiritual roots, felt a hidden excitement amidst his fear. Is this what immortals are? Can I become an immortal too? He trembled as he took a few steps forward and knelt on the ground. Master, is willing to lead the tribe to follow you for generations. Yang Shi swept his gaze over the black ghost tribe with majesty, and not a single person dared to look him in the eye. From this day forward, you will cultivate the spirit fields for me, understand? The black ghosts hurriedly agreed. Yang Shi then said to you will manage these spirit fields well for me. If there is a good harvest next year, I will teach you the cultivation techniques. If there is even the slightest mistake, you will end up like that cultivator. Yes, master, responded tremblingly. Yang Shi looked at the lake, a smile appearing on his lips. A spirit lake, 6 acres of spirit fields, and a number of spirit fruits. From this day forward, they would all fall under the Yang family's sphere of influence. We should listen to Xiong Pai Chi with the spirit lake. We won't need to use the spirit rain spell to water it, which is much more convenient. Xiao Bai won't need to traverse this dangerous demon wind forest anymore. If we plant spirit wheat on all 6 acres, we'll get an extra 3,000 jin of spirit wheat every year, which is enough for 9,000 bags of fasting cakes. If the Yuan Shi sect accepts it, that's 1,800 low-grade spirit stones. We're rich. While Yang Genshuo was calculating the land's profits, Hu Zi had already skillfully finished looting the corpse. Brother Shi, come quick, there's something good. Chapter 47 Harvest. Earth Essence Stone, superior magic weapon. After refining, it slightly increases the absorption speed of Earth's spiritual power and can store a portion of Earth's spiritual power in the stone, which can flow into the body when needed. The most valuable item on Xiong Pai Kai's body was naturally the Earth Essence Stone, on his chest. A superior magic weapon. That feels good. It's just a pity Jiang Xiaobei is a wood cultivator, so he can't use it. But I can keep it for Yang Fu so he can pursue the earth cultivation path. In the battle just now, Xiong Pai Kai's strength was undeniably strong. Several earth-type spells also broadened Yang Genshuo's horizons, making him realize that this was a true cultivator. The nascent soul stage, like children playing house. You throw a fireball at me, I throw an ice arrow at you. Yang Genshuo watched as Hu Zi pulled out his spoils one by one, his eyes constantly scanning for his earth-type cultivation technique. Unfortunately, even after searching through everything, he didn't find Xiong Pai Kai's earth venerable spirit technique Jade Slip. He didn't even find many spirit stones. But thinking about it, it was understandable. Who would be so kind as to bring their cultivation techniques and spirit stones on a short trip? They probably left them at home. But Tiger still found some good stuff. Brother Shi, look. These 4 bottles of pills, they look like celestial pills. The small bottles were made of jade. Such expensive materials are usually used to hold cultivator pills to prevent spiritual energy loss. Nourish Yuan pill, 10. Return spirit pill, 5. Strengthen bone and muscle pill, 3. Earth element spirit replenishing pill, 1. The nourishing Yuan pill is a first-grade pill, used by key refining stage cultivators to increase cultivation speed. The return spirit pill is also a first-grade pill, quickly replenishing spiritual energy after consumption. The strengthen bone and muscle pill is a first-grade healing pill. Xiong Pai Chi just took one. The last pill, after seeing the description, Yang Genshuo couldn't help but take a deep breath of cola. Burp, there's one second-grade pill too. This thing is valuable. Second-grade pills are generally about 10 times the price of first-grade pills, starting at 100 low-grade spirit stones. Generally, only cultivators at the key refining stage or above can afford this. However, the effect of this, earth element spirit replenishing pill, is exceptionally outstanding. After consumption, it can slightly improve the aptitude of the earth spirit root. Only one pill can be used in a lifetime. It can actually target and improve spiritual root aptitude. That's amazing. Yang Fu's spiritual root aptitude was naturally outstanding. With further improvement, his cultivation speed would be unimaginable. Seeing Yang Shi looking at the 4 bottles of pills with a puzzled expression, Yang Genshuo manifested and explained their functions to him. Oh, I see. What pills does the ancestor need? We'll offer them to you during this year's sacrifice. Just leave me one bone strengthening and muscle regenerating pill. The ki nourishing pill and the spirit returning pill are for cultivators. He doesn't need them now. This bone strengthening and muscle regenerating pill, which can quickly heal external injuries, is something he can keep on his person, in case he encounters a stroke of luck one day and it saves his life. Besides the Earth Essence Stone, and the 4 bottles of pills, there was also a magical artifact. On Xiong Pai Kai's hands were a pair of transparent gloves as thin as cicada wings. Ice Dragon Gloves, mid-grade magic artifact, immune to water and fire, increases spell power. Not bad, at least it's versatile and doesn't discriminate against anyone. I can give it to Zhang Xiaobei. 2 magic artifacts, 4 bottles of pills, 10 low-grade spirit stones, and 1 broken demonic artifact. That's all Xiong Pichi possessed. The overall value is very high. This was the first time Yang Shi had seen a high-grade magic artifact. In the rogue cultivator market, only mid-grade magic artifacts were available, starting at 15 low-grade spirit stones. This high-grade magic artifact, made of earth spirit stones, would cost at least 200 spirit stones. The Ice Dragon Gloves could be used by anyone, so Zhang Xiaobei tried them on. While my Spirit Rain technique and Myriad Things growth technique have a much larger range now, it feels like my strength has increased a level. Zhang Xiaobei was at the 6th level of the fetal breathing stage, yet the spells he used were comparable to those of a 7th level fetal breathing cultivator. My Yang family will gladly accept them. Yang Shi smiled slightly, feeling that all those spirit stones hadn't been wasted. This person's corpse is horrible. My kind-hearted brother couldn't bear to see this little fire, so he carried it far away and burned it to ashes. Zhang Xiaobei whistled, and the flame tiger went to destroy the evidence. Luckily, we were kind-hearted enough to take in little fire back then. He helped us a lot. Good deeds are rewarded, Yang Shi sighed. The black ghosts. Wait, is that how you two understand kind-hearted? Oh no. Our ancestors said this demonic artifact is made of human bones and sucks away souls. It's extremely cruel. Let's find a place to bury it, hoping those poor souls can enter the cycle of reincarnation. After dealing with this, Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei rode the spirit horse and little tiger back the way they came. Tiger and Kangling stayed behind. Yang Shi also gave them some passively triggered erase stones that could be used without spiritual power. Tiger held the leather whip, looked at the scattered black ghosts, and smiled wickedly. You guys. Now. Get to the spirit field and weed right now. The slowest one gets a 10 draw bonus. There's a chance to get doubled to 20 draws. The 41 black men were startled and quickly scrambled to the wildly growing spirit field to work. Hash stood next to Tiger, using his power to intimidate, and shouted, "Show some spirit. Use the strength you use to tear apart wild beasts to pull weeds. Tiger and I are watching you." Crack. Who said you don't have to work? Hash, after being whipped, slunk off and joined the weeding team. On the small hill behind, a wisp of black smoke quietly rose from the land where the fragments of the white bone disc were buried, shooting off in the opposite direction from Qingxi County. After returning to Qingxi County, Yang Shi went to the restaurant outside the Xiong family mansion as soon as possible. Yang Genshuo scanned part of the Xiong family mansion with his 150-meter field of vision and found no news that was detrimental to the Yang family. It seemed that no one inside knew where Xiong Paichi had gone. However, even if they knew that Xiong Paichi had gone to the Demon Wind Forest, it wouldn't matter much. Xiong Pichi was the most powerful person in the Xiong family, and even he didn't come out alive. These few cultivators at the nascent soul stage who were just farming, who would dare go to the Demon Wind Forest to find him? Unless the Xiong family sent other experts. But at that time, Yang Genshuo naturally had ways to keep the Yang family out of the fray. Yang Shi looked at the Xiong family mansion so close at hand, his eyes flashing with murderous intent. Xiong Pichi was dead. According to the ancestors' intelligence, the highest cultivator inside was only at the nascent soul stage. He still had over 90 various talismans. He could destroy the Xiong family mansion in Qingxi County now. After downing 2 jugs of wine, Yang Shi withdrew his murderous intent and silently returned to the Yang family manor. The Xiong family in Qingxi County wasn't scary. His real enemy was the Xiong family of the Danai dynasty, the Xiong family with a foundation establishment elder in the Xuanxi sect. He needed to continue to endure until he had the strength to completely overthrow the Xiong family. However, the thought of that foundation establishment elder added a touch of confusion to Yang Shi's eyes. I've already exhausted all my strength to kill Xiong Paichi, who is only at the first level of key refining. Even if I become a Grandmaster of the innate realm, how can I deal with that foundation establishment stage expert? Hearing Yang Shi's whisper, Zhang Xiaobei came over to comfort him. Husband, don't worry. Our ancestor said that Fu Er has extremely high talent and will definitely reach the foundation establishment stage in the future. Then, Fu Er and I will avenge our Yang family together. No, Yang Shi shook his head firmly. The blood feud of the Yang family must be avenged by me. Let Fu Er cultivate well. Even if I am gone in the future, he can continue to lead our Yang family to continue its legacy. I won't allow you to say that. We are family, so naturally we must bear this together. How can we let our husband go alone? Xiaobei, don't worry about me. Our ancestors' cultivation is boundless. He will definitely think of a way for me. Yang Genshuo pursed his lips. What good way could I possibly have? I can't just send a Dongfeng Express to blow up the entire Xiong family in one shot, can I? That's unrealistic. However, Yang Shi's words resonated with Yang Genshuo. All other pursuits are inferior, only cultivating immortality is superior. I am but immortal, how can I embark on the path of cultivation? After watching today's battle, Yang Genshuo was even more eager to cultivate immortality. The Great Dao is 50, the heavenly evolution is 49. The absence of one is the variable. Even mortals have a glimmer of hope for cultivating immortality, the legendary treasures that can give birth to spiritual roots. Yang Shi, keep going, find the path to immortality for us. Just as Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei were holding hands and being affectionate in the courtyard, a strange sound came from Yang Fu's room. Snap! Ah! Yang Fu's small voice rang out. The couple stood up alertly and rushed to Yang Fu's room together. Chapter 48 The Most Suitable Kung Fu Technique. Yang Shi entered Yang Fu's room first. He saw Yang Fu staring blankly at his chopsticks, a broken bowl lying at his feet, some spirit rice scattered on the floor. Yang Shi and Zhang Xiaobei both breathed a sigh of relief. How could you be so careless? Go back to bed, mother will clean it up for you. Zhang Xiaobei prepared to help. Yang Shi looked at the somewhat strange Yang Fu and noticed something was wrong. Fu Er, are you feeling unwell? Why aren't you saying anything? Yang Fu turned his head and touched his lower abdomen. Dad, I feel it bloating in my stomach, like there's some kind of energy circulating. Zhang Xiaobei placed his hand on Yang Fu's arm, circulated his spiritual energy, and said incredulously, Fu Er has already reached the first level of the fetal breathing stage. Yang Shi, no one taught him, no pills, and he entered the first level of the fetal breathing stage at the age of 3 on his own. This stunned both of them, even a little frightened. Even top geniuses couldn't be more amazing. Yang family descendant embarks on the path of immortality for the first time. Incense offerings plus 100, good lad, so much incense. Your father, a half-step innate grandmaster, only gives 100 incense sticks. Yang Genshuo was both surprised and expectant. He had long known just how terrifying Yang Fu's true talent was. Fallen genius, pre-foundation establishment cultivation speed plus 99%. He doesn't even need to circulate his cultivation technique. His body absorbs and releases spiritual energy. This earth-level talent is stronger than heaven-level talent before foundation establishment. In that case, let Yang Fu embark on his cultivation journey, starting cultivation at age 3, at least 3 years ahead of the average cultivator in the cultivation world. 3 years is enough to leapfrog several minor realms. Which cultivation technique should little Yang Fu practice? The Yang family currently possesses 3 cultivation techniques: Mysterious Stone Key Induction Technique, Spring Wood Longevity Technique, and 5 Elements Transport Technique. Spring Wood Longevity Technique is eliminated first because it can only be cultivated to the great perfection of key refining, lacking a foundation establishment technique, which is definitely unsuitable for a child like Yang Fu with such an extremely fast cultivation speed. The Mysterious Stone Key Induction Technique is a common technique used by outer disciples of the Mysterious Stone sect, and also by some cultivation families. It's a common technique, but its strength lies in its solid foundation, allowing for stable cultivation up to the foundation establishment stage. It's a dual elemental technique of earth and metal, perfectly suited to the superior grade magic artifact, the Earth Essence Stone. Furthermore, subsequent techniques and various spells can be obtained from the Mysterious Stone sect. If Yang Fu were to become a disciple of the sect, he could smoothly reach the foundation establishment stage, achieving considerable success. If Yang Fu cultivates this technique, Joining the mysterious stone sect and becoming a high-ranking member would be a natural progression. As for the 5 elements transport technique, Yang Genshuo read its description. It only requires 5 times the time of a cultivator of the same level to cultivate a 5-elemental circulating spiritual energy vortex within the body, thus becoming invincible among those of the same level, and even capable of fighting beyond their level. When he first read this, he thought the creator of the technique was a complete idiot. Now, it seems to have a wonderful chemical reaction with Yang Fu's talent. Although Yang Fu has 5 spiritual roots, his innate wisdom root, heavenly level, makes his spiritual root aptitude extremely high, somewhere between 4 and 3 spiritual roots. He also has a genius experience card before foundation establishment. Even if this 5x cultivation time makes him advance slower than ordinary cultivators, it's not unacceptable, since his talent is exhausted once he reaches foundation establishment. Why not use the double cultivation speed brought by this fallen genius talent to achieve the strongest foundation establishment? Let Yang Fu use a longer cultivation time to strive for a higher ceiling. This 5 elements transport technique is the most suitable cultivation method for Yang Fu. Yang Genshuo has made up his mind. Manifestation. Yang Fu is exceptionally talented, and the 5 elements transport technique suits his talent. Let him start cultivating from today. Yes, ancestor. Yang Shi excitedly picked up Yang Fu and gave his little face a big kiss. My son has the potential of an emperor. My son can cultivate immortality at the age of 3, Daddy Disc. Yang Fu pushed away Yang Shi's chin, looking disgusted. Yang Shi was in high spirits. Zhang Xiaobei looked at her husband and child, and also showed a satisfied smile. Yang Genshuo also pressed the acceleration button. He couldn't help but want to see just how far Yang Fu could grow. If Yang Shi couldn't find the rare treasure that could regenerate spiritual roots for him in this lifetime, then Yang Fu would have a greater chance of helping him fulfill this wish. 2 days later. Hacking Town. 2 masked cultivators, one fat and one thin, arrived in this quiet town. The 2 strolled to the busiest commercial street. Suddenly, they raised 2 soul-summoning banners. Blood Soul Technique. Spiritual power surged, dark clouds covered the sky above the town, and blood rain fell. One by one, black ghosts twisted and crawled out from the soul-summoning banners, rushing towards the passers-by. In an instant, 100 ghosts roamed the night. Hacking Town turned into a living hell. Don't kill me. Don't kill me, Mom. Give me back my mom, my son. My youngest son. The mortals wailed as they watched the vengeful ghosts snatch their loved ones away, utterly helpless. They tried to run, but their legs wouldn't move. Instead, they were pulled by a suction force towards the soul banner. Despair and panic instantly enveloped the entire city. What kind of demon is this? Give me your life. 2 middle-aged men, protected by protective auras, rushed out of the town, their bodies radiating a powerful, masculine aura. The vengeful ghosts that touched them were burned, emitting plumes of black smoke. HMPH, the 2 men raised their red-tasseled spears, their true energy permeating the air. Righteous key spears, they unleashed countless spear shadows, slaying several vengeful ghosts around them. They brought a glimmer of hope to the desperate mortals of Hacking Town. This small town actually has 2 innate grandmasters, quite a surprise. I wonder what it'll be like for your souls to enter my soul summoning banner. Nothing much? Because entering the soul summoning banner will cause you to lose yourself and your senses. Otherwise, your soul summoning banner would have been stolen by rebellious souls long ago, the skinny demonic cultivator said calmly. The fat demonic cultivator's face darkened. Do I need you to teach me? Kill, kill. The 2 innate grandmasters rushed over at lightning speed, their spears gleaming with true energy. The ghosts scattered, and the sharp spear energy carved deep grooves into the walls of the entire street. They could tell that these 2 demonic cultivators were powerful, but they were brothers, their cooperation was seamless, and their righteous energy spears were specifically designed to counter demonic cultivators, so it wasn't impossible. PFFT. PFFT, 2 black ghostly hands ripped from their chests, squeezing their beating hearts. Bang! The fat demonic cultivator pulled his hands out of the soul summoning banner, and crimson, hot blood flowed down his arms, filled with an evil aura. I want these 2 souls. Are you dreaming? The skinny demonic cultivator's hands flashed with black light as he absorbed the soul of a grandmaster of the innate realm into his soul summoning banner. An hour later, Hacking Town became a dead town. Delicious. Very delicious, not as good as a cultivator. Just as the 2 were about to leave, A ray of black light shot in from afar. The soul imprint of our Blood Soul Valley. The skinny demonic cultivator raised his soul summoning banner, drawing down the black light. After sensing it for a moment, he said, Xiangpichi is dead. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49 Ding Zhen's Guidance. How did Xiangpichi die? I saw a terrifying red lightning blade, a lightning cultivator. The demonic cultivation techniques of Blood Soul Valley are not governed by the 5 elements, so they cannot be countered by ordinary cultivators' spells. They are unpredictable and difficult to defend against. However, the lightning spiritual root, an anomaly of heaven and earth, is not countered by the 5 elements but specifically counters evil spirits. It is the natural enemy of the demonic cultivators of Blood Soul Valley. Don't be fooled by the fact that these two are demonic cultivators at the 7th or 8th level of key refining. They have many methods and can even fight against cultivators at the great perfection of key refining. But this lightning cultivator, at the same level, could easily defeat them both. The fat demonic cultivator was no longer arrogant as before, his face full of gloom. Damn Xiangpichi, how did he offend Lei Xiu? He even exposed his identity. We can't go back to the Xiang family in Qingxi County. He died in the Demon Wind Forest. We shouldn't go to the Demon Wind Forest either. It's so unlucky. No rush. What if it's just a Lei Xiu who has just entered the key refining stage? Now is the perfect time to get rid of him. Chief Ding knows a lot about the cultivators around Qingxi County. Let's go ask him first before making a decision, the skinny demon cultivator said calmly. Let's go. Let's go find old Ding. What wind blew the fat and skinny Daoists here? Ding Zhen said indifferently, not seeing the enthusiasm of his fellow Daoists. Chief Ding, you were in charge of wiping out a market town of Qingxi County, but it failed due to the intervention of powerful cultivators. During your time in hiding, did you see any lightning cultivators? Lightning cultivators from Qingxi County? Ding Zhen's expression shifted, then he asked calmly, why do you suddenly ask about this? One of our people from the Xiang family was killed by a lightning cultivator. His soul imprint is with me. You know how much of a threat lightning cultivators pose to us. If they hadn't grown stronger, He the fat demon cultivator let out a sinister laugh. Since the Xiang family in Qingxi County has been exposed, we can no longer go to collect spiritual food. Why not just wipe out Qingxi County and completely destroy the rogue cultivator market town? It's been a long time since anyone from there has joined our Blood Soul Valley. The thin demon cultivator was extremely disgusted by the orderly rogue cultivator market town. Cultivation is about seizing the creation of heaven and earth. How can there be harmony? If there's no fighting and killing, is it still called cultivation? After listening, Ding Zhen recalled the face of the mortal and the resounding words he had spoken on the stone table that day. Just because it's always been this way, does that make it right? Slaughter and plunder are an inescapable pit. Ultimately, no one benefits. I have a dream, to return the market to its purest original purpose. Yes, the purest original purpose. Wasn't it simply friendly exchange between fellow Daoists? If his father had bought pills in the Qingxi market back then, would he still be cultivating that acre of spirit field at home, urging him to eat more spirit rice every day? Sect leader Ding, hearing the fat demonic cultivator's voice, Ding Zhen snapped out of his thoughts. Oh. Speaking of thunder cultivators, I can't help but recall what happened back then. Do you know why I didn't make a move in the end? Why? Because this thunder cultivator was none other than Muren Ziyan, the senior disciple of the Yang Shi inner sect, a foundation establishment stage thunder cultivator. Hiss, even the usually expressionless thin demonic cultivator couldn't help but gasp. Muren Ziyan's name was like thunder in the sun. The number one nemesis of Blood Soul Valley. Over the years, they have killed countless fellow demonic cultivators. Let alone those in the key refining stage, even a foundation establishment grand perfection protector from Blood Soul Valley wouldn't dare encounter her. Why isn't she cultivating at the Profound Stone sect, but instead appearing in the Demon Wind Forest near Qingxi County? I don't know, but I do know that Muren Ziyan gave Immortal a Profound Stone walking talisman, which can summon Profound Stone sect disciples. You'd better be careful, such a small Qingxi County actually has such a powerful background. I always thought only Bai He was in charge of that market. Since that's the case, then forget it. I'll go back and report to the Valley Master. From now on, we'll abandon the Xiong family's spiritual fields in Qingxi County. It's not worth risking your life. Thank you for your honest advice, Chieftain. If you need my help in the future, I, the fat and thin Taoist, will certainly not refuse. Seeing the two demonic cultivators about to leave, Ding Zhen suddenly said, I observe that the Taoist's body is filled with blood-red light, and his cultivation has improved. He must have just refined quite a few people, right? It's just a small town, a few thousand mortals. The two grandmasters of the innate realm tasted quite good. Their souls are still struggling within my soul summoning banner. Upon hearing this, a hint of disgust flashed in Ding Zhen's eyes, but he quickly chuckled. Mortal souls are still too weak. My men just discovered several Yang Shi sect disciples gathering herbs together on Medicine King Peak. Oh? What are their cultivation levels? The fat demonic cultivator's eyes gleamed. The souls of cultivators were a great tonic for him, especially since the Yang Shi sect disciples were all wealthy. If he could intercept and kill a few, the gains would be far greater than slaughtering an entire Qingxi County. The highest is no more than the 5th level of key refining. Thanks. I, the fat and thin Taoist, owe you a favor. The fat and thin demonic cultivators laughed excitedly. This kind of opportunity was hard to come by. They didn't have mounts, but the soul summoning banner formed a cloud of black mist beneath their feet, within which countless souls seemed to run, carrying them far away in a few breaths. After they left, Ding Zhen sighed. It's a pity that Yang Shi is just immortal, otherwise he might have become my ally. I hope Qingxi Market can always remain like this. He naturally knew that Lei Xiu of Qingxi County was not Murin Ziyan, because she was currently at Medicine King Peak. Time flew by and fast forward. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of the Yang family's ancestral worship ceremony. Your descendant Yang Shi has successfully completed this year's ancestral worship ceremony. Incense value +10. You have received offerings from members of the Yang family. 1,000 caddies of spirit wheat. 1 bone strengthening and muscle regenerating pill. 1 basket of various spirit fruits, and 10 boxes of spirit's oil. Do you wish to bestow rewards upon the descendants of the Yang family? Yang Genshuo gave Yang Shi a bag of hybrid spirit rice seeds improved by Chengbo and 3,000 packs of fasting cakes for this year. Plant these in the spirit field in the demon wind forest. Yang Shi agreed. Chengbo had said that these hybrid seeds could increase yield, but they also needed more fertilizer and nutrients. And the spirit field with a high concentration of spiritual energy next to the spirit lake was obviously the most suitable. These 10 large boxes of spirit's oil were also dug from there, with a spiritual energy concentration as high as 5 points. Absolutely highly nutritious soil. These 10 large boxes of high concentration spirit's oil will speed up my research. He then took out the small jade bottle of the bone strengthening and muscle regenerating pill from the tribute, drilled a small hole with an electric drill. Found a sturdy red rope, threaded it through the hole, and it became a jade bottle necklace. Hanging it around his neck greatly increased his sense of security. I really like a saying from an insurance company, you never know which will come first, tomorrow or an accident. This, I'll keep it to save my life. A first-grade immortal pill, specializing in treating external injuries, even able to save someone who's been shattered by a major accident. With such a great cheat, he didn't want to suddenly die at the hands of some drunken beastly driver. Smack smack eating various small spirit fruits from the fruit trees around the spirit lake, rich in spiritual energy, tender and juicy, with a mellow taste. Those black devils really know how to enjoy life. Hunting wild beasts every day, picking fruit, eating it, and then lying in the sun. They're all incredibly healthy. However, not many of these ordinary fruit trees will survive this year. Most will have to be uprooted and replaced with higher yielding and more practical spirit rice and spirit wheat. But the annual offerings to the ancestors will certainly be plentiful. It's a pity there aren't any high-grade spirit fruit trees with attributes like the rockberry. Those are excellent for catalyzing the evolution of wild beasts into spirits. I see there are still quite a few fish in that spirit lake. I'll have Tiger catch a few for me to eat before next year's ancestral worship. Yang Genshuo leisurely crossed his legs, eating fruit. His body was also being cleansed by spiritual energy, gradually improving. Just as Yang Genshuo was enjoying his leisurely life, his phone rang. It was his mother, Li Zifen, anxiously calling out on the phone, "Shuo, come home quickly. Your father fell off the roof." Chapter 50 Yang Genshuo is back. What? Where are you now? Hearing his mother's words, Yang Genshuo immediately became anxious. Just took them to the county hospital. They're about to have surgery. Come back quickly. Shuo, where did you fall? Is it life-threatening? I fell on my arm. It's not life-threatening, but the doctor wants me to sign something, saying there might be some after effects. I'm afraid to sign. Li Zifang was almost crying as she spoke. Okay, don't worry, Mom. Wait for me to get back. Wait for me. Yang Genshuo swept a handful of medicine from the bookshelf and tossed a bag of spiritual rice into the trunk of his Bentley. With a whoosh, he sped out of the yard. A cloud of dust billowed behind the car. Yang Genshuo's hometown was in Ping's County, more than 200 kilometers from Ximen City, not too far. Yang Genshuo touched the jade bottle hanging around his neck and drove quickly. The elixir, you must work. After driving for 2 hours, he arrived at Ping's County Hospital. The strong smell of traditional Chinese medicine hit him as soon as he entered. Patients, mostly elderly, moved about the lobby. The cashier impatiently explained to them how to use their social security cards. Yang Genshuo went straight to the orthopedics ward on the 3rd floor, room 305. He saw a group of people gathered around him as soon as he entered. Grandpa, second uncle, third uncle, let me in. Yang Genshuo's parents believed in having many children, so they had many relatives, mostly living in the same village. Therefore, many people came when something happened. Shuo's back. You drove here? Pretty fast. Hurry up and get your mom to sign. The doctor is waiting. Just sign it blindly. Do you think we know as much as the doctor? Go see your dad. Yang Genshuo squeezed in and frowned when he saw the entire ward. Because it was a 3-person room, besides his father, there were 2 other patients and their families, making the small ward extremely cramped. There was barely any room to put his feet down, and the smell was indescribable. At this moment, Yang Genshuo's father, Yang Guahua, lay on the hospital bed, his right arm wrapped in thick gauze from hand to shoulder, hanging limply on the small bed, constantly gasping for breath. Yang Guahua, usually the most authoritative and warmest man in the family, was now too weak to greet the other relatives. Shuo, you're finally here. Let's sign it quickly. The doctor said there's a waiting list for surgery. Signing early means we can get an appointment sooner. Even tomorrow might not be an option. Li Zirong was anxious seeing Yang Guahua's pain, only slightly relieved to see Yang Genshuo return. Although Yang Genshuo had lost money in business over the years, in his mother's eyes, her son was capable of great things. Don't worry, Mom, I'm here. Give me this, I'll look at it later. Li Zirong clutched the family consent form, her hands sweating. Yang Genshuo didn't rush to look at it, but walked to the bedside and took Yang Guahua's uninjured left hand. Dad, I'm back. Yang Guahua opened his eyes, glanced at Yang Genshuo, and stopped to a slight groan. Genshuo, I'm fine, just a broken bone. I'll have surgery and a cast for a month, and I'll be fine. Your mom insisted on calling you over, and you wouldn't listen to her. You're so busy with business, you should go back later. He tried to appear nonchalant. You're not fine. The doctor said the worst-case scenario is amputation. It says on the form that even after it heals, my arm won't be able to turn. Sigh. That's just to scare you. There's a chance, not a certainty. Saying this, Yang Guahu turned his head slightly away. Behind him, Yang Lei, a cousin a little younger than Genshuo, blurted out, Second uncle, my brother Shuo's 3 shops have all closed down. What's there to be busy about? Earning a few more days' wages won't make much? Let Shuo stay with you, he can at least show some filial piety, right, brother Shuo? Yang Genshuo glanced at Yang Lei but didn't say anything. Is it your turn to speak? Go out and buy your second uncle some food. Yang Guojin, Yang Genshuo's third uncle, scolded. See. Nobody wants to listen to the truth. Was it wrong for me to ask my brother Shuo to fulfill his filial duties? He grumbled as he squeezed out of the ward. When Yang Lei saw him making money with his shop in Ximen City, he thought about working for him, hoping to earn more money easily, but Yang Genshuo refused, citing that he was already full. If anyone in the family was happiest when his shop went bankrupt, it was Yang Lei. Uncle Sam turned to Yang Genshuo and said, but, on the other hand, Genshuo, you're an only child. Your father is counting on you. He's been suffering a lot these past few days, so please take good care of him. Yes, Uncle San, I understand. The usually taciturn Uncle Yang Guli, dressed in his old work clothes, said in a deep voice, you all go about your business. I'll sleep here at night these days and watch over Guahu. I'll have Xiaolian bring over the mattress later. Several other relatives chimed in, and Yang Genshuo nodded to each of them. Seeing his father's condition, he felt a little relieved. At least his life wasn't in danger, and no parts were missing. This injury was much less severe than Xiongpichi's. Xiongpichi, covered in sword and knife wounds, recovered quickly after taking this medicine, and Yang Guofu's injury was also not a big problem. At this moment, a doctor outside, hearing the commotion, came over. "What's wrong with your family? Are you going to have the surgery or not? It's so difficult to get a consent form signed." Yang Genshuo walked over directly and said, "Excuse me, doctor, we're preparing to transfer to another hospital." "What?" Before the doctor could speak, the other relatives were shocked. Why was this child transferring hospitals without consulting them? "Genshuo, our local traditional Chinese medicine hospital is quite famous, specializing in orthopedics. We don't need to transfer, do we?" Li Zifeng whispered to Yang Genshuo. Yes, transferring hospitals? Don't let your dad go through all that trouble." His third uncle walked over, looking displeased. "Don't worry, Mom, I have some classmates at the city hospital. They can help my dad. The chances of him not having any after effects are very high." Hearing this, Li Zifeng completely sided with her son. Her husband was almost 60, what would they do if he couldn't turn his arm? This was the main reason she had hesitated to sign the surgery consent form. The doctor, hearing that the family wanted to transfer hospitals, readily agreed. "Okay, if you decide to transfer him to another hospital, the family should go to the first floor to complete the formalities. This hospital is overflowing with patients, and the doctors don't want to create trouble for themselves. If things don't go well, it'll cause problems later." Seeing that Yang Genshuo and his mother had already made their decision, the relatives didn't say much. "If you transfer him, who'll take him there? How about we rent an ambulance?" Grandpa Yang pulled out his wallet from his pocket. "Our family will give Xiaoshuo some money." Grandpa wasn't much of a talker, but he would never hesitate to help anyone in need. Yang Genshuo pressed down on Grandpa's hand. "No need, Grandpa, I drove here. I'll just put my dad in the car later." "Didn't you sell your car to pay off the loan?" Uncle San was the person in the family who knew Yang Genshuo's situation best. Yang Li knew his childhood friend who worked at Yang Genshuo's shop. The latest news was that it had gone bankrupt, closed down, and he had sold his car to pay off the loan. "Oh, borrowed a friend's car? Borrowed a car? No wonder you came so quickly." Yang Guohua, hearing that his son wanted to transfer hospitals, said angrily, "So much trouble. A fracture is the same even in a big hospital." "Don't worry, Dad, I definitely won't let you have any after effects. Do you want my mom to help you get dressed in the future? It's not that serious." Ouch! Yang Guohua moved slightly, cold sweat streaming down his face, and he didn't have the strength to argue with Yang Genshuo anymore. "Let me complete the transfer procedures and then we'll leave." While Yang Genshuo went to the window on the first floor to wait in line, there was a nurse in the line next to him. She was petite, wearing a mask, only revealing a pair of beautiful almond-shaped eyes. Yang Genshuo's first impression from the side was that she was probably a beauty. Her eyes were so beautiful, and her skin was so fair. At this moment, she was staring intently at her phone, frantically operating it, looking very busy. Yang Genshuo hadn't originally intended to peek at her, but seeing the screen on her phone, he couldn't help but take a few more glances. "This is Stardew Valley." The nurse looked up abruptly, met Yang Genshuo's gaze, and chuckled. Yeah, do you play too?" "I used to play, but it got too boring playing alone, so I didn't play for long. This game definitely needs to be played online. Want to play on our server?" "Oh, doesn't the mobile version of this game not support online play?" "Mine is the Steam version, a cloud game. Just keep my computer on and play on my phone." "That's pretty cool. The Steam version has a lot of content too." "Exactly. Aren't you guys busy at work? Do you have time?" "We're doing alright in our deluxe ward. I can sneak in a little playtime when I'm busy." The nurse chatted casually with Yang Genshuo while simultaneously playing the game, harvesting crops and farming in the game, busier than Yang's slaves. Yang Genshuo smiled as he watched the nurse. He found girls so focused on games quite adorable. Suddenly, a brilliant idea flashed into Yang Genshuo's mind. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.